Hello and welcome to Nice and Blunt. It's Tuesday, February 10th, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to hop into some Underdog best ball drafts. I hope you are ready, because here we go. Alrighty, we are on the website. We are ready to go. I'm ready to go. So if you want to join in, I hope you are ready to click it. I'm going to hop into a big board. We are not going to be waiting very long. Fuck it. I'm going to hop in right now. If you want to join, hit that button as well. I am joining. I got a location error, of course. Bummer. Shit. Sorry, Scott. If you wanted to hop in, Scott, we did not get in. I will get it on the phone. Always disappointing when that happens. Okay. Everything is set on my phone. A reminder, if you do want to join, we are entering a big board. $10 entry. I'm going to hit this button right now. With a minor delay, if you hit this button right now, we should be joining at the same time. One more to start. Only one spot left. Let's pull it up. Looks like it's full. No waiting on this one. Jamie, mon ami, welcome in. Good to see you, my friend. We get the number 6 pick. Not bad. Not bad at all. Go Chargers, Captain Spock. Let's fucking go. Now is the time to get hyped. Now the Super Bowl's over. We can officially look fully ahead to next year. And indeed, bolt up, baby. Oh, the Chargers are poised to have a very good performance in year 2026. If they do not, then it might be time to move off of Justin Herbert. I don't think Herbert has any excuses after next year. So, gonna be fun. We're gonna try and go back to the layout I kind of started to use towards the end of last season, and hopefully I can get it going today. That would be chill. But if it's too complicated for me, then hopefully I move off of it. But now's a good time to try it. So here's the board. We got my roster on the side, and hopefully I will be just patient enough, accurate enough to hit the button correctly. I'm going to go a little bit differently today. We're going to avoid the ADP just slightly, and we're going to take CeeDee Lamb here at the 6. I want to do something specific. I don't want to reveal it just yet, but I want to try it, see how it goes. And typically, I've been drafting a shit ton of these running back early teams. So we're going to change things up. We're going to have a slightly different strategy today and see if it works out. Going to try a more wide receiver heavy approach, and hopefully things shake out in a way I'm comfortable with. But we got Shanzo Gonzo in here. Welcome in. Nice to see you. Shadowick. Shadow is wicked. Okay, it took me a minute to understand the specifics of how to pronounce that. But yeah, much more straightforward. Shadow is wicked. Yo, buddy. Welcome in. King of QC in here. I did notice King of QC. I was happy to see him. He has the 109 on the clock in a few picks. Back at the 16. He goes Amon-Ra in round 1. But Kyle is asking what's up with the French kid. That's just Jamie sticking to the bit. I made the mistake early on of informing Jamie that I was a child actor and one of my roles involved a French accent. And ever since, Jamie knowing that I speak French, every single live stream on cue. Honestly, it's pretty impressive. The commitment to the bit, I got to honor. Quite committed. Jamie does not play around. He just always greets me in French. And I appreciate it. It's a little bit of a different experience, and definitely makes it his own. So that's what happens there. But we are about to be on the clock. So let's take a look at who's eligible. And barring a major snipage, exactly who I'm planning to take is here. I might be dead wrong on this. I might be fucking crazy. But it seems like implementing a double Cowboys receiver combo and targeting a Dak Prescott selection is not the most insane strategy. Like a couple years ago, the team that heavily stacked up the Bengals did win it all. And if you had to compare two franchises, two similar offenses with like elite fantasy upside in the passing game, it's definitely Dallas. Dallas is definitely up there. And we'll see about Javonte, who their running back is going to be. But I'm going to say, fuck it. Let's try it. I don't know if I'm going to like it, if this is a dumb thing to do. But like, give me CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, and let's set up a Dak Prescott stack. Why the fuck not? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I took Lamb like 2 picks above ADP, a slight reach in round 1, and then I did reach a little bit on Pickens here. But they don't line up. Pickens goes at like pick 22 in the 210, and then Lamb usually goes to the 108. It's different, okay? Do I know for sure I'm going to like it? I don't know. But I want to try it out, and it seems worth a shot. But I would have loved Breece Hall there, to be honest with you, because then we have the potential of getting Breece Hall to like sign in Dallas, and we get like a triple stack. But instead, I'm just going to take top ADP. We're going to go Josh Jacobs. A little bit worried about some of the injury risk with Josh Jacobs, but in general, I don't think it's that bad. But okay, let me get back to what I was doing earlier. Here we go. And then Captain's Box says Clint Kubiak is going to Vegas. That is going to bump Genty up a little bit, but he's already kind of high. I think that has already been like established for like a week. I don't think he can raise up that much further, but possibly he goes in the second round here. I should maybe move the live chat thing here. We'll put this at the bottom. Sorry. Okay. Maybe a little bit smaller too. All right. So Genty goes at the 13th overall pick. That's about right. I mean, it was overpriced last year. Will it work out? It should probably be better, but like, I'm a little worried if they don't draft any offensive linemen. We're, overpricing the Raiders again. But I'm a little bit surprised that there aren't some teams trying to take like Genty and Bowers combined, like I've thought about doing that as well. A Raiders stack is not egregious in my opinion. A little bit of a reach. Excuse me. But not terrible. Now, Jamie is not French. He just commits to the bit. But let's pop out of that, see who's on the board here. Travis Etienne has fallen. Oh, please. Please, bro. Come on. Come on, Craig. Bomber. Damn. That would have been nice. That would have been nice. But, no, we're not going to fall too behind. We went with double anchor receiver. Running back was definitely the pick there, but damn, wishing Team 7 passed on ETN. That would have been beautiful, especially given his free agency appeal. That could also be a landing spot in Dallas. That would have been fire. 1 pick away from Breece Hall, 1 pick away from ETN. Damn. So close, yet so far. That is unfortunate, but worth a shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, all we need is a really good faller, and we would have been really in business. Like, imagine if I did this at the 7, and instead of getting sniped on ETN there, we were able to pair up ETN with, like, Walker. Yo, that would have been pretty fire. Lamb, Pickens, Walker, ETN. I think there's a way to make this work, and I'm glad I'm trying it out, but, like, getting Scatterboo there is definitely a bit of a disappointment by comparison. But we weren't supposed to get ETN. Like, that would have been just a big blessing. But that's not what happens here. Damn, Luther Burden here falling. So is Ibuka. I know who I would prefer, but perhaps for the stack, I wouldn't be too upset with Burden, but I think Burden is just way too overpriced. Yeah, take him. I don't give a shit. Let's move off him. Let's take Igbuka for sure. Falling ADP, 5 picks past ADP. And while I could have tolerated running back selection there, I don't think it would have been bad. I'm fine with who we got. We got Jacob Scadaboo. We go back in at receiver. And quarterback coming off the board a little early is a major reason why. Oh, wow. Team goes Brian Thomas there at the turn. That's rather shocking. Hoosier man. Interesting. Shadow is Wicked says, way too early to ask this question, but for one-man keeper league, what would you do? Keep Tedder McMillan to lose a third-rounder pick? Or keep Igbuka to lose a sixth-rounder? Keep Bowers to lose an eighth-rounder? I think I'm keeping Bowers there. I think I'd rather have Igbuka in exchange for a sixth than Tet in exchange for a third, but Bowers in the eighth feels pretty valuable. I think that's where I would go. But okay, so the team so far is Jacobs, Scadaboo, Lamb, Pickens, and Igbuka, and then there's definitely no question I'm trying to set up a Dak Prescott pick. But Jamie, I mean, not everyone knows, but you make sure everyone knows. That's for sure. Shanzo Gonzo says, Def like getting some Dallas double in the portfolio at least once or twice. You know what I'm saying? Like, not all the time. I don't think I'm going to stick with this consistently as a oftentimes used strategy, but especially being in the middle, it's not like an egregious reach for either player. And like, it's worth mixing in, see if you like it. It's still February. You can always change your opinion. But Shanzo Gonzo says, what I don't like is the price on Rashi Rice. I'm just clicking Olave every time, it seems. I hate the price on Rashi as well. I think it's a little bit overpriced. More of like a Zay Flowers value, in my opinion. Could definitely be worth it, but could also be overpriced for sure. Burrow has fallen, so I'm going to be nice to the team after me. And this is where maybe I should have taken Burden, perhaps, but nah. We go Jalen Warren. Almost took Caleb Williams there, but I'm going to play with fire just a little bit. Just a little bit. We know that this turn already has a little bit heavy quarterback investment, so I would assume double A cracked and Hoosier man. Hoosier manager, that's the full name. Probably grab at least one quarterback, but I'm definitely taking one around the long turn, and we're going to get ahead of running back before it dries up. We go Jalen Warren. I only think there's one quarterback there that's worth the price, and so far he's not been taken. We'll see if he comes back, but I assume he goes here. No, they go Trevor Lawrence. Interesting. I might get my guy. Parker Washington off the board. Oh, this is notable. This is interesting. Oh, please let him fall a little bit more. Okay. Oh, we're so close. If you're paying attention, you probably know who I'm talking about. One more fucking pick. Damn it! Fuck, bro. That's some bullshit there. I mean, it probably saves me from myself because I don't think I can afford to pass on Dak here given the state of the position, but damn, that would have been a beautiful price. Yo, this is sad. Like, this is what sucks about being right in the middle, because, like, one pick away from getting Breece Hall, one pick away from getting Caleb Williams, one pick away from getting Travis Etienne. I got sniped a few times here by just one pick. We almost got, like, supreme values. Damn. This one was close. I'm genuinely shocked, though, that to pass on Caleb, we saw Burrow, Hurts, and Lawrence come off the board before Caleb. Caleb to fall to 77 might just wreck the team at in the 5 slot, but like their quarterback room is just so elite. I think the only reason they took him there was just to prevent me from getting the value. Like, genuinely, I think that's the main motivation. Obviously, it's a great pick, but when you have 3 there, like this Lamar Jackson selection just looks egregious. to have 3 in the first 7. I mean, the way quarterback's been going so far, I don't know if it's like the end of the world, but like I'm sure if this team could take a pick back, it would be probably like the Lamar Jackson pick. You know, they got Jamar stacked up, they got Burden stacked up. Weird, weird values in this lobby today, but like this is a notable turn of events. So close. Shanzo Gonzo says, just awaiting the annual cycle where Rice becomes a 6th-round pick for a month. Right. You know, like, this is just like last year where he was going around this exact price in the top 30 and then just plummets round 6, round 7, and then starts to trickle up slowly but surely. That's definitely the time I'm going to be jumping in as well on Rashee Rice. 100%. Good call. But, Laporta goes 88. I literally just got Laporta in a draft earlier. In the big board, mind you, not the little board where some wild shit happens. I got Laporta at 103. Maybe I was 104, but I got him literally a full 10, 14 picks after where he just went. It was kind of crazy. What's going to happen right here? Damn. Okay, Herbert falls a full like 12 picks. ADP 79. I'm on the clock at 91. Quarterback's been weird. And I think I can still stack him up with Gadsden. So I'm going to go Herbert here as my QB2. It would have been funny if I passed on Herbert and then this team, Troubadour, right behind me, took their 4th quarterback. That would have been fun. You're welcome, Shadow. No worries. But Jamie says, let's take a smoke break in round 7. I'll go to the loony bin with you. We are in round 8, so I'm a little bit behind. But you know what the number 8 is in French? 80. Do you know what 80 translates to? You should probably know at this point, especially if you know this channel. It means 4 fucking 20, baby. It means 420. The French are the original potheads. Okay, we're on the clock. I'm gonna probably just take Gadsden here for the stack purpose, but I'm very tempted to take Baker. I'm gonna hope that Baker circles back, but this is the turn where I should probably be grabbing QB in all honesty, because look at the teams on this side of the board. There's 3 of them without a quarterback, and then the other 3 only have 1. So based on the state of the position, that might have been the wise pick, but we get the Justin Herbert combo stack Aru. And yeah, there's a reason why I don't do this version anymore. But yeah, so here's the team. Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert, Josh Jacobs, Cam Scatterby, Jalen Warren. We took the CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens double stack in rounds 1 and 2. Egbuka's our number 3 at a nice little discount, pick 54. And then right around ADP, pick 102, we took Oronde Gadsden. Not bad, if you ask me. But Who Hames, welcome in, buddy. Welcome in, my man. Good to see you. Yes, Jamie knows. Green Bean also in here. Welcome in, my friend. Shanzo Gonzo nearly took Caleb, but spent the capital on Jaden. Where'd you take Jaden Daniels? I see. Yeah. I think Tucker Kraft is a tolerable click there, but I would not have faulted you whatsoever, man, for taking Caleb. I was a little surprised you didn't take Caleb. I'll be honest. Like, I like the Tucker Kraft pick. I don't like the Tyler Warren pick. I think the Drake May team could have also gone Caleb Williams. The Hurts team I thought could have also taken Caleb Williams. I was very shocked, though, to see the Trevor Lawrence drafter, who did reach on Brian Thomas, pass on Caleb. I think they probably should have double tapped quarterback, if you ask me. That was such a good price on Caleb there. But it may work out Love goes, probably not. I'm hoping to get Baker here. King of QC goes Darnold. And then these next two teams have only one QB. I mean, this team is sniping. Oh, finally, do not get sniped. And now we have just like a very phenomenal 3 QB investment here with Dak, Herbert, and Baker. I mean, it's definitely not going to beat the Lamar, Burrow, Caleb team. You know what I'm saying? But what it is going to do, it's going to put a bit of a premium on the remaining quarterbacks, and especially with some teams at like a big disadvantage by not being invested at that position so far. I think some teams are going to get a little bit ruined because of it. Like, I think this team with Brock Purdy, that's definitely a quarterback that can work out, but like at this stage, once you pass Shuck, if you only have one quarterback, I think you're screwed. The team with Mahomes a little risky. The team with only Dart is risky. There's the team with only Love, and then there's the team with Goff and Darnold. That's King of QC and Purdy. I think the team with Goff and Darnold made a very smart choice, double tapping their quarterback runs dry very, very fast. There's such a weird like order to how things have gone in the ADP so far, and like some picks really makes no fucking sense when you consider how cheap some receivers actually are. Like, I'll tell you one pick that makes no sense at all to me. It's the Luther Burden price in the mid 5th round in this one, but really he fell. He's going in the 4th. Luther Burden as a 4th round pick makes no fucking sense to me at all. Kind of egregious when you look at his game log. Like, I get it. There are a couple games where Luther Burden did explode, but like he's going over Rome. He goes barely behind Loveland, basically. And then like DJ Moore is just like a complete afterthought. Like week 3, he had 3 catches for 101 yards and a touchdown. Okay. But the only like elite game otherwise is week 17, 9 targets, 8 catches, and 138 yards and 1 touchdown. Otherwise, like, where the fuck is the justification for Burden this high? He literally has 3 games with negative yards. He averaged like 8.5 points. He had 2 touchdowns on the season. It's not like he was even that good in the playoffs. In the playoffs, his stat line was 7 targets, 3 for 42 against the Packers. And that was an awesome matchup. And then the next week, he had a great matchup again in the snow. 7, 3 for 24. Like, where the fuck is the hype on Burden justified? I don't understand at all why you would pay that price on Burden. It's crazy to me. It really is. I only have 3 running backs, so that would be interesting here, but I kind of am missing out. I'll go Kayshon Boutte. I don't need Mendoza when I have Dak, Herbert, and Baker. We got a very good price on Herbert. We reached a little bit on Dak, and then that got canceled out by our price on Baker. So quarterback, we got a decent value, but we invested all 3 by round 10. I've been liking to do that a little bit more. BestBall Q says all the sharps are expecting a big year 2 leap for him. That huge of a leap? I mean, I love Ben Johnson. I love Caleb in that offense, but like, really? Above Rome? I mean, even above like Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't get it. I have refused to click Bird in there. I almost took him with the plan to pair him up with Caleb, and that's like the only fucking reason. But like, I was gonna get a big discount on him, and then he gets sniped. I'm glad I took Jalen Warren in hindsight, because fuck, I've actually neglected running back a little too much. Yeah, that was the downside of our quarterback investment, but honestly, I still don't hate it. I'm gonna go Sharbs. Obviously not ideal. He tears his ACL late January, but At the moment, Walker could leave. I wouldn't expect that to happen, but Sharbs is really effective on the goal line. I can't imagine that just goes away. And like he is under contract, he's a good player. So, um, what if he returns like week 5? And then what if in like week 12 Walker goes down and now we just have Charbonnet, a top 12 running back. Like Charbonnet and best ball, even despite the injury concern, I think is still a very fair click. Like to go after Kamara, who like we know is going to miss time, doesn't even finish the year, like especially with the payout structure, I'd rather have someone like Charbonnet in like the fantasy playoffs than Alvin Kamara. Um, the team I have, I think, is fine enough to work out, but I do have Scatterboot. That's not great. I may have neglected running back a little too much on this team. I do think the Lamb Pickens Dak strategy can work, but I may have gone a little heavy on quarterback in hindsight. This was a weird draft. Very strange board so far. But I did tell you that the right side of the board was going to be a little bit click heavy on QB, and so far that's really shaken out. Last two rounds, we see Ward, Stroud, Bryce Young go off the board. I'm surprised that they took them all before Mendoza. I actually like Mendoza a bit more than them. Maybe not more than Cam Ward, but Mendoza is very interesting to me. Malik Willis goes off right after we took Sharps, and then Walker and Daniel Jones. Kyler Murray, excuse me. I don't know why I said Walker there, but Daniel Jones also goes. Best Ball Q says, can't lie, I've only clicked Burden once. Hopefully he isn't one of the guys you need. I mean, that's always a reason why you shouldn't fade any particular player. Like, you should have, like, mix everyone in, because, like, at a certain ADP, like, fuck it, just take him. But, like, so far, I have not been able to do it. I've assumed his price is going to fall, and it has been trickling down. But so far, not as much as I would have thought. Looks like there's several 3 running back teams behind me. And I think the guy in free agency that could really like have an awesome elite landing spot is Rachaad White. So I'm gonna take Rachaad White over Aaron Jones, the older guy. I think I need someone that like can stay healthy, is young enough, and can really contribute in the beginning of the season. And I think Rachaad White has the chance to be one of the guys in free agency that like goes somewhere where he's really involved early on. I would love to see him in like Kansas City, or I don't know, even if you told me like, I doubt this would happen, but like the Lions cut Montgomery, save some money, and then bring in Rachaad White on like a relatively cheap contract. Like, I think that would be even interesting as well. But he could go to many different places and have a lot of value. I think if he went back to Arizona, where he played in college and played for the Cardinals, that's a team with a very interesting running back room. I would love that. I think he would take the job and run away with it pretty fast, honestly. I would love to see Rachaad White in Arizona. I don't think Connor has a very long runway left. And then Trey Benson, I'm starting to believe, is just trash. Benson can't stay healthy either. I'm tempted to take Jonathan Brooks because of my position, but we have Scatterboot and Charbonnet. I'm not just heavily investing in everyone that's hurt. I think Tesla is a really compelling pick. And I only have 5 receivers so far. I'll take Tesla. I like Tesla. Touchdown maker. When he does contribute, he can definitely go over 10 points. And I'm not sure I love JMO this year. I think JMO is a very easy player to not pay off at ADP. JMO, I would like a lot more if he was going in round 5. JMO I view similar to Luther Burden, but at least JMO has like proven more. This is a contract year for JMO, but he's been a bit of a head case. I think if they get tired of him quickly, they can move off. Tesla was drafted in round 3, looked really good, and then Laporta got hurt. So even if Tesla doesn't emerge, I could see Drew Petzing, the new offensive coordinator, just favor the tight end position a little extra. Laporta contributes more, and now if Amon-Ra is fully healthy, like there's just not enough targets to go around. For JMO. JMO can disappear quite often. So injuries could also play a factor. That could also elevate Tesla. I think he's an excellent pick. He's going like well outside the top 60 wide receivers. And like when he hits your lineup, he can finish in the top 30 in a given week because he has a really established role when it comes to touchdowns. Goff likes to throw like a 20-yard end zone target for Tesla quite often. So I'm inspired with Tesla. He's a player I've clicked a lot at this stage of the draft. There's a few receivers I really like in this section, so I've been more willing to like ignore receiver in some of the middle early rounds. Like we took Lamb, Pickens 1-2. Those guys have to pay off to be worth it. So with that assumption, I'm willing to move off for a while. I love the price on Igbuka in the 5th round. I think Evans could leave there and he could skyrocket. I genuinely think Igbuka could be like as valuable as someone like T. Higgins who goes late round 3. I think Igbuka could be like 15 picks too low from where I just took him. I could also be wrong, but I like to take Igbuka a lot at ADP. Running back still going to be somewhat important for me. That team goes Trey Harris. Looks like Torrey Horton was taken by King of QC. I wasn't going to let him slide. I do not have... You know what? I'm going to go Isaiah Likely, ADP faller. We only have Aranda Gadsden so far. So whether he returns to the Ravens, I think that's the most likely scenario. He's probably worth it at this stage. He has like such high upside when it does click. My tight end 2, I'm definitely drafting another one. So here's the team so far. We took Lamb and Pickens, stacked them up with Dak Prescott. I didn't even think about considering Jake Ferguson. He goes right after we take Jaden Reed. But at the receiver position, I also have Igbuka. Jaden Reed is my number 4. Kayshon Boutte is my 5. And then we have our 6 with Isaac Tesla. Not bad at receiver. Running back, we took Jacobs at a minor discount. Then we took Scatterboo. Almost got ETN. And then Warren at 67. I think I like that pick a lot in hindsight. I think getting ahead of the massive drop at running back, taking Warren round 6, I think was solid. He's a little bit overpriced, but like compared to Baishal Tutin, who's the next running back off the board, give me Warren there all day. And then Herbert at a good value. I am back on the clock. I'll be honest with you. I do have some excitement about Tank Bigsby, but I think similar to Rachaad White, I'm going to go Brian Robinson instead. Let's play the free agency roulette with our running back investment. Sorry. I'm remembering I want to be showing you this. Okay, so this is the build so far. We have 3-6-6-2 with Dak, Herbert, and Baker. Those are our quarterbacks. We had a pretty early investment, but I still think it works. We got Jacobs, Scatterboo, Jalen Warren, and Charbonnet, Rachaad White, and Brian Robinson. I think I can stop there, and I think I'm fine. Sharbs is risky, Scatterboo's risky, but Warren has a pretty solid floor. Jacobs should be all right. And then if Scatterboo and Sharbs return relatively early, then we'll have good contributions with them. And then we're playing the free agency. We're just spinning that wheel with Rachaad White and Brian Robinson Jr. I might take a 7th, but if I stopped with these 6, I don't think it'd be egregious. At receiver, we also have 6 players with CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Igbuka. Jaden Reed is the 4. I also got him 11 picks past ADP. That one was pretty nice. I like that pick a lot. Kayshon Boutte, Isaac Tesla, some high upside with these receiver picks. And then tight end, we got Aranda Gadsden to complete our Herbert stack, and then Isaiah Likely at a pretty big discount. I got some solid discounts with these draft picks. Jaden Reed, 11 picks. Igbuka, 5 picks. Likely 10 picks. I got... Oh, I'm on the clock, pretty much. Caleb Johnson, a little interesting, but not my preferred direction. I do think Freiermuth is very compelling this late. Stour is also interesting. Could go Darnell Mooney, could go Kyle Williams, but I have Keishon Boutte already. I'm gonna go Pat Freiermuth. Mike McCarthy coming into town, Johnny Smith on his way out. Darnell Washington a little bit relevant, but then Freiermuth is also like a player that can drop like 22 points in fantasy as well. Okay. So, receiver, I don't want to ignore. What's the state of rookies? How did rookies go off the board recently? We saw Omar Cooper Jr. in the 17th round. He's been moving up the board. Some recent hype on him. Pretty fair. We see Zachariah Branch go at 203. Jacoby Lane at 210. He's been falling. And then Brazil the second right after we go Freiermuth. Kyle Williams off the board. The pick should be receiver, and then if there's someone that's just like super compelling. Did Flournoy already get taken? Yeah, he did. Okay. That's fine. I've already stacked up Lamb and Pickens. I don't think I need to also add Flournoy. Flournoy went at the 206. He's a pretty fair pick. He has 2 amazing games, but like a little injury dependent for his success. I don't hate the team. I've been trying to incorporate some of these like earlier investments in quarterback, like in round 7, 8, and 10. I draft a quarterback. That is a little bit unheard of for my typical strategy, but I do think Baker is one of the most valuable clicks at the position. And then I've also loved either having like 2 where we took Dak and Herbert, or just having 3 by the time we get to like Cam Ward, Mendoza. Those teams I usually really like. But I could grab a running back. I'm pretty heavily invested in Adam Randall so far. I think I need my 8th receiver. I think when Keishon Boutte is your 5th, I think I'd like to have an 8th. I think so. So I'm going to pass on running back. I think we did okay enough at running back. It's fine. But a little bit risky. And Craig goes Mac Hollins. I'm going to take Jeremy Bernard. Jeremy looks pretty solid. Alabama receivers also. Jerby. Here we go. Played at Michigan State, then transferred to Washington, and then followed Kalen DeBoer to Alabama. So, Husky wide receivers maybe haven't lived up to expectation. Rome has been a little disappointing. Jalen Polk has been dog shit, and then Jalen McMillan has been good but injured in a crowded offense. But we do get 4 years of college out of Jeremy Bernard. Just to play at Alabama in the first place is a really good sign. And last 2 years were pretty electric. Like 54 touches for 831 yards, 3 touchdowns as a junior. And then last year, 82 touches, 18 of them were rush attempts. He had 101 rushing yards, 5.6 rushing yards per carry, a total of 963 yards from scrimmage and 9 touchdowns. Jeremy Bernard seems like a very worthwhile click in the final round. There was a time when you can get Omar Cooper Jr. round 19, Jeremy Bernard round 20, and that felt very nice. But I'll happily take Jeremy Bernard in round 20 there. But we do take Darnell Mooney right above him. And here's a full recap of this draft. We were at the 6 slot, and this is how it went. We took CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Josh Jacobs, Cam Skattebo, then Emeka Egbuka, Jalen Warren, Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert, Oronde Gadsden, Baker Mayfield, Jaden Reed. I love that pick. Kayshon Boutte, Zach Charbonnet, Rashad White, Isaac Tisla, Isaiah Likely, Brian Robinson Jr., and Pat Freiermuth. In round 18, close it out with Darnell Mooney and Jeremy Bernard. I think the team's pretty interesting. Running back is a little shaky. I wish I got either Breece Hall or Travis Etienne to fall one more pick. But I think by taking Jalen Warren, I kind of saved my ass quite a bit. And the only thing maybe I might have changed was like, if I had taken Caleb instead of Jalen Warren, and then instead of like Herbert, I take like Tony Pollard, I don't think that's a bad move either. I think that's actually pretty solid. But we got a really big discount on Herbert. We ended up pairing him with Gatz, and that's also not bad. I think it worked out. I think it's fine. A little bit safer. We nearly got some elite drops in ADP value, but it just did not work out quite perfectly. So worth the risk. I'm happy we tried it, but will I do it again? Probably not for a while. I'm glad I at least have some teams with a Lamb Pickens double stack. That feels pretty dope. Knowing that it's not like the most incorporated strategy, that feels nice. But will it work? Who knows? Let's hope for the best. And we do have some teams in here that we're also drafting with us. Let me take a look at King of QC's team. I don't think I've drafted with King of QC so far. If I have, I apologize. But he was at the 109. And let's take a look at his team. He goes Amon-Ra, Jeremiah Love, Kenneth Walker at pick 33. Nice value there. Goes with Jameson Williams. So in the same vein, gets his double stack at receiver. I mean, especially with the double combo, I don't hate it at all. But I did kind of shit on JMO's price a little bit. I think it's fine, but maybe not as bad as Luther Burden. Makai Lemon should be a good prospect. Love the price on Swift. Damn. Nice value on Swift there. Then Alec Pierce Laporta for another Lions investment. At least you have Goff. Thank God for Goff. Pairs him with Darnold. Goes Higgins. Jaden Higgins for the Stroud stack after that. So felt a bit of urgency at quarterback. Can't blame you. Perhaps like a Mahomes or Dart instead of Alec Pierce would have been tolerable. But I don't think it's that bad. Alec Pierce should smash. He had some insane games, even with Rivers. So I like that pick. I'm not going to hate on it. Tyjae Spears, round 13. In the range of like, if you don't get a running back soon, you're fucked. So a good click. AJ Barner, Dalton Schultz to complete the tight end room. Schultz with the stacking option. Same with Barner. All the tight ends are stacked. That's nice. Torrey Horton, Cooper Kupp. That's pretty dope. And then Ray Davis, Jalen Noel, a sneaky stack with Jalen Noel. I like the Jalen Noel click as well. And then Adam Randall, a player I've drafted a lot of in round 20. I like King of QC's team. Quarterback, obviously a little shaky, but the extremely important Jared Goff stack with this combination, and then just a heavy investment in Detroit. I like it a lot. I think running back looks really good with this Swift value. Yeah, to pass on Swift there, get the rookie, and then still get Swift coming back around. That's phenomenal. Good team, bro. Nice roster. We were also drafting with Dirty P, but we reviewed some of his teams quite often. If you would really like a review, Dirty P, let me know. But I think I might just move on. Scott AFT says, I just drafted with you, recognize the name, and found your stream. Who's your manager? Let's take a look at it. You are the one who pulled up Brian Thomas and Trevor Lawrence. I will be totally upfront with you. I did not love those clicks, but at least it's justified. I'm a fan of the triple running back start. I've been doing that kind of often lately, especially when I'm at the top. So Bijan, Chase Brown, and Bucky, not bad, bro. Very interesting combo. Love the Jalen Waddle selection. Personally, I'm going Igbuka there instead of Brian Thomas, but like Brian Thomas was just going at the 1-2 turn last year. It's definitely possible. I don't know if I would do that. I would try to like maybe get Thomas to fall. I've seen him fall a little bit in round 7. So I don't know if you have to take him so early, but like he also goes at the opposite side of the board, and if you want it, I never fault anyone at the bookend for reaching on anyone. Like I reach a lot at the bookend. So it's I think you just had to go Lawrence. So as long as you do go Lawrence, it is justified. I like Fannin. I think that's a really good click. But you fell behind a little bit at receiver. I don't know if I love this Blake Corum selection personally, but I like him. I just don't know if I like the price. That's all. Bo Nix, I think, is a great pick given the state of quarterback. Golden at a nice, decent value. I do get Jaden. Do you like Golden over Jaden Reed? I don't know what to make of it. Like, I want to believe in Golden. I really believed in him last year, but like, damn, it did not work out. So I'm a little reluctant on Golden. You do take Tyrone Tracy. I was kind of hoping to get Tracy, man. The snipe on Tracy, I will say I was a bit bummed in hindsight, but I did get Jaden Reed, so I was okay with it, I guess. But I would have loved to pair Scatterby with Tracy. Then you go Travis Hunter, Jerry Jeudy, a little risky for my liking, with Ridley, Penix, Mims, Mason Taylor, Jaden Blue, Keenan, and Darren Waller. I don't click a lot of the names on the later round, but like they got some high upside. Keenan, I have no idea what to make of. I think Keenan might retire. I'm a bit worried about Keenan retiring. That's my take on it. But some bold takes with this team, bro. Bold takes. I might have invested in receiver a little bit earlier than like Corum and Tracy, just because of the build. When you have Bijan, Chase Brown, and Bucky, like how often are these other running backs hitting your lineup? That's my only major note. I hope you didn't ask for a review. I hope I didn't just insert myself unnecessarily. But thanks for checking in, man. Appreciate you subscribing. Appreciate you very much. Josh says, I need to report that David Njoku wants to sign on Detroit Lions. Let's see if that happens. That would suck for my investment. That would burn me. King of QC with the big Seattle and Houston stack. Yeah, very significant stacks with those teams. Not bad. Scott got sniped on McLaurin. You wanted Daniels, I assume. Or maybe you just wanted Terry. Yeah, that's... Terry's a pretty solid value. Assuming he stays healthy. Anyways. I think I'm going to move on. I think I'm going to do another one. If y'all would like to join me, let's head over to the lobby together. Should we do a big board? Should we do a little board? Maybe... Now, I assume everyone wants to watch a big board. I assume that's mainly why you're here. So I'm not even going to ask. I'm just going to do it. Scott says, why I fell behind on my wide receivers. Glad my first Terry share was a snipe. Dirty P is ruthless. Dirty P is sharp and ruthless. Good luck with Dirty P. Anyways, I'm going to give you a minor countdown. I will be hopping in roughly 10 seconds from now, and I'm on like a 6-second delay. So by the time you hear this, you should click the button right now, and I will join you accordingly. Damn it, fucking shit. Location error. I apologize. I'm really sorry. I am very sorry. Shit. Okay. I have it on the phone. I'm going to hop in 3, 2, 1. Hit the button now. I'm really sorry. 10 more to start. Fuck. Sometimes you might as well just ignore my countdown. Fucking location error. That's egregious. That's a big bummer. I am sorry about that. Because odds are I got in like the overflow. That's probably exactly what happened. I'm the second person in this lobby. Odds are y'all are not in here. If you, I mean, maybe that's gonna help me. Maybe I'm with some less sharp drafters. But I like when people in the audience, in the chat, are with me. Because at least, like, that's what you're intending to do. Fucking location error. Of course it happens. But we got a little bit of time for this to fill. Who knows? It might take a while. Um, 7 spots remaining. In the meantime, I'm probably going to clear this bowl. So if you would like to join me or just want to enjoy the drop, the music is not bad. Okay, this lobby should be full soon. It's down to 4 spots. And fuck it, I'm gonna put a little more weed in the bowl. All right. I've been trying to add music, but then I don't know how to trigger the copyright strike. I'm still trying to find music that does not demonetize my video. So I would love to have music in the background. If you have any recommendations on where to find some that isn't like just boring as fuck, but also like not too aggressive. I also don't want like really aggressive background music. But Josh says tropical cookies THC is really good, dude. Baked. Is that a strain? I assume sounds like it, given there's like Girl Scout cookies and stuff. That's my assumption. I don't think I have tried it. But what I'm smoking at the moment has actually I've been rocking with it for quite some time. Here, let me zoom out. This Violet Dreams, the specific strain I got is ice cream cake, and it's an indica, and I got an eighth of this. Violet Dreams, the THC content is like 26.5%. Not much CBD, but this was really nice. I like this a lot. And then I also got like a 50% discount the day I got. So I ended up buying like a full ounce like back on Christmas. And this was very legit. I got the Black Amber. Not sure if you can see Black Amber right there is on the sticker. The Yada Yada. I got 20 grams of this. This is like an indica. And I'm about to run out. But I genuinely bought both of those on Christmas for like 50% off. And they have done me very nicely in the month of January. It looks like we are full. It looks like the lobby is full. So let's pull this up. We are right next to Who's Your Manager. Once again, in this draft with us, Dirty Pete as well. I see Green Beans in here. And then behind us, we got Young Moolah. On the clock, we got Chris King. Beast Mode 63 at the 103. Then N. Ra with an H. ASAP Rocky in the house. Oh, damn. Rihanna's husband, baby daddy, both, I guess. ASAP Rocky's in here. Shit. I love bad bitches. That's my fucking problem. Let's see who he goes. He goes JSN. Sean Zagonzo's duping my Dallas double in the underflow as punishment for the rug pull. Apologies, man. I mean, might as well. It wasn't intentional, bro. It was not intentional. The fucking location error just coming in, burning me. But, yeah, like the fuck I got a fucking problem. That was such a good song. Such, like, peak. When did that song come out? Like, I want to say, like, 2011, 2012. That was a good fucking song. That song got a lot of people laid in the club. When that song comes on and you got a hot woman to dance with, that song will get you in trouble. Are we getting CMC at the... Let's go. I mean, it's a little risky, but, like, this is where he should probably be going. GAB 4914 also in here. He's young Moolah at the number 12. Let's... I apologize for not giving you CMC, but I don't think I could have let that slide. Welcome in here. Goes Jefferson. You... Holy shit. Bro. Thank you. Just for the unique aspect of this. Thank you. Like, Jefferson, Hampton, I don't think is insane, but to give me Achane after I just got CMC, I mean, yes, I understand the risk, but like just from like the rarity of this, I am so ecstatic. This is not a combo I've seen so far. Maybe I just haven't drafted enough. Maybe there was a time when a lot of people were getting it and I'm like overreacting. But I am super, super pumped about this combo here. McCaffrey, Achane at the 11 and the 14. I mean, couldn't they go down instantly? Yeah. Why are some people online like Schmitty saying Ashton Genty #1 next year? Are we talking about the fantasy football show? I mean, I really don't want to be the guy that like shits on a take, but like, no, I'm not gonna agree with that. I'm not gonna agree with that. No offense, Schmitty. Love the show. I've tuned in before. You got a fun live stream there. Late night, good vibes. Love the to the moon graphics. I'm never gonna do that. I don't see how that's justified at all. That's just clickbait, if you ask me. I was once in a, like, unintentionally, I just joined like I think it was a Best Ball Mania team draft. Maybe it was a puppy. It would make a little more sense in a puppy, but it just happened to be with Schmitty of the Fantasy Best Ball show, and the team he drafted made me want to vomit. He was at the 101. He took like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and then he didn't click receiver again until like round 12, and he was drafting like Jack Betch as his wide receiver 3. It was like one of the most disgusting teams I've ever seen. Imagine like going in full confidence that Jack Betch is your wide receiver 3 is like actually going to work. That was wild. That was a wild night. But I enjoy the show. I enjoy the entertainment. I should shut up. Breece Hall goes at 31. Not bad. I needed a smoke break. I'm sorry. Okay. Would have loved to get AJ Brown there. Who's your manager? Also has double running back, so I assume grabs T. Higgins. Goes Garrett Wilson. I will take the falling value on T. Higgins. Let's go. I just need the highest ADP when I have a unique combo like this. I think I need to just take it. Young Moolah might leave us a running back. I might grab a third, but then I can also pass. Don't hate that. But nah, I'm just gonna stay as unique as I can possibly get and go Kyron. I'm not gonna regret grabbing 3 running backs in the first 4 rounds. I will grab Kyron. Let's go. Holy shit, this is interesting. Do I know for sure it's gonna work? I mean, as long as they stay healthy, it should work. But CMC, Achan, T. Higgins, and Kyron. Let's go. Scattaboo goes. ETN goes 1 pick after. But Carrero says, I think JSN, Jackson, Smith, and Jigba going to be picked ahead of Puka and Jamar next year. I could see it. That's definitely justifiable. He had, what, the most yards of any receiver this season, so definitely could see that happen. Especially if, like, Shaheed leaves, you would assume there's even a little more reason to trust JSN. That's not a bad take. I'd be fine taking JSN as the wide receiver 1. I'm fine with that. I don't want to be falling behind on my exposure to Puka and Jamar so much, though, that I'm not taking them either. But I think that tier is very interchangeable. I think that's a legitimate take. But Terry goes to who's your manager. He got his boy. He got sniped in the last draft. Takes him at the 403. Then we see Ladd after Travis Etienne, RJ Harvey, Devontae Adams, Jameson Williams, Zay Flowers, Egbuka. Damn. Beast mode in the 3 has an elite receiving core with Pickens, Olave, and Flowers so far. That's pretty fire. I'm liking Flowers. He goes Devontae Smith as well. Damn. Pick 3 has awesome receivers. I'm not so sure the running back room would be working if you didn't have Gibbs. Like, to have Gibbs and then these 4 receivers is pretty awesome. Scott just got a feeling about Terry this year. Should be a good bounce back. I would assume he gives you another 1,000-yard season, especially if they move off Debo. My only reason to pump the brakes a little bit on that is the loss of Cliff Kingsbury as offensive coordinator. That feels like it's going to just have to be a downgrade in my book. But Jaden Daniels staying healthy should be fine. Terry's a little bit older. He's going to be 31, I think, this year. And last year, obviously, was pretty injured. So they paid him for a reason. He should bounce back. But there is a little bit of risk going super heavy on that investment. But would have loved Rome here. But instead, I'm going to go Mekhi Lemon. I prefer Lemon over Tyson. So if I'm going to take a rookie, give me my preference. And then I think I'm going to go Burrow, barring a snipe. But this team is definitely set for Caleb with Burden and Loveland. Yeah. I kind of want to risk pushing quarterback a little bit, but Nah, I'll just take Burrow. The price at quarterback is very strange around the next 2, 3 rounds. Sometimes you're in a lobby that really ignores the position and lets it fall, but inevitably there's going to be a massive run. And as long as you come out with like two that you really like in the next 2 to 3 rounds by pick like 110, so I guess 4 rounds for where I am on the board, you're in fine shape. But I've often come away from this section like we did in the last one with three of them, and I like my teams quite a bit. I feel like I'm really poised to compete because like what I learned from like making it a little bit farther, by actually making week 17 in the playoffs this year, it doesn't feel as important about like who you have going into the weekend, more so just that you have as many options as possible. The more live bodies you can throw into the lineup as like a potential player that gives you points is really like, now it can obviously be the wrong combo. That's definitely fine, but like just give me a shot. And that's where with 20 rounds knowing I'm going to draft 3, I'm okay spending a little bit more because of how the position has been valued this year. It's a very interesting response to what it was going uh as in the past. Like quarterback was so much cheaper last year compared to this season. But then the price on like Josh Allen is exactly the same. You know, it's odd. At least I can ignore running back as it gets gross as fuck. This section of the draft, like the dead zone, I think is back. The running back dead zone is a huge factor this year. I think once you pass like Ramondre, I mean Jalen Warren's okay, but if you told me they re-signed Kenny Gainwell, I think he's a terrible pick by comparison to Gainwell. So there's a world where Warren is also drastically overpriced. Not a huge touchdown machine, so could really not pay off. I did take him in the last draft, but him and Ramondre kind of feel like some of the cutoff points at the position were like, yikes. Hmm. Do I just take Mahomes here? I think so. Actually, no. I'm gonna go Alec Pierce. I think Young Mula might pass on quarterback, honestly. And even I might pass on quarterback. But even if I am stuck with Brock Purdy, I'm not going to be upset. We have Christian McCaffrey. So that would be a pretty justified selection. He goes Jadarian Price. Um, I honestly really love Kraft at this price, but I know quarterback's about to dry up. But you know what? Fuck it. Let's play with fire a little bit. Let's go Tucker Kraft. Let's start with the 1-3-3-1 build. A little bit risky, but I do think Kraft is a very good value, and I'm happy to have him as my tight end 1. So let's gamble a little bit. Only one team has 2 quarterbacks. So far, this has not been a lobby that's really um, overpriced the position. And I mean, the team at 9 with no quarterback does pass as well. So, yeah, some teams are really not forcing it up the board. Reading the room, Not a critical way to go. Josh says also, I think Parker Washington going to be picked earlier next year also. He's going at a weird price. If it wasn't the Jags, then the price wouldn't make sense at all. But I think it's probably fine. I feel like he is kind of just benefiting from a little bit of recency bias, but really emerged as a go-to target. He has great chemistry with Trevor Lawrence, so um, feels like it's more likely to fall than go up. But I could also fast forward 2 months, and your point will hold strong. Damn, that team at beast mode takes Mahomes. Fuck. That team at 3 is pretty dope. The running back room is not great, but even Warren as the 2 with Mahomes. And those receivers, Pickens, Olave, Flowers, and Devontae Smith, that's pretty safe. Joshua Carrero. Next season, I bet it's Trey McBride, number 1, Tyler Warren, number 2, Brock Bowers, number 3, Fannin, number 4, Tucker Kraft, number 5. I got a feeling. I mean, if you're right, timestamp it. Come back to this as proof. That'd be very impressive if you got it spot on. But I don't know if I agree with that order. If you tell me Tyler Warren is not even top 8, I also wouldn't be shocked. That quarterback situation is a little bit tricky to bet on in Indy right now. A little too early for me to endorse Tyler Warren as a top 2 tight end. He's good, but let's see what happens. Laporta falling a lot. A full round discount on Laporta right now. This team does not have a quarterback yet. Or tight end. They go Goff. Dave Montgomery off the board. I'm going to take the discount on Laporta. I know I have Tucker Kraft. I kind of regret that in hindsight. Now I kind of wish I took Mahomes or like a receiver there, but fuck it. I'm probably just going to stop at 2 with double elite tight end. We have a really big discount on Laporta. What was my discount on Kraft? Only 3 picks, but still I like his price. Let's see how this goes. I don't know how much I love this team so far, but we have Burrow, T. Higgins, Mekhi Lemon, Alec Pierce, and then 3 running backs I like a lot. I got to be drafting receiver pretty heavy going forward. But not before I take Jordan Love. Gotta get back in a quarterback, I think. Just knowing how the board goes, this justifies the Kraft selection, which might be my downfall. So let's hope for Mekhi Lemon to have a good landing spot. Alec Pierce to get a good big contract and be a big mover and shaker. I mean, even if he just stays in Indy and does what he did last year, that's going to be pretty good. But T. Higgins has to stay healthy, and I got to draft a lot of receivers coming up here. Burrow and Jordan Love, Tucker Kraft and Sam Laporta. And then at running back, we got CMC, Achane, and Kyron. I need a lot of receivers on this team. But, I mean, the starting lineup is pretty fire. Starting lineup feels pretty dope. We're getting either Kraft or Laporta in there any given week, Burrow or Love. I'll definitely take another quarterback, but like this might be a 10 receiver team. So hopefully just the volume alone carries me. This is interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's take a look again at team 3, that beast mode team. Passes on running back there. Do they land the plane? Concepcion goes off 122. We got Concepcion as like pick 140 recently. Damn, that team at 3 goes Debo Samuel. Passing on JCM, Kenny Gainwell, the running back position in general. I mean, not great for me because I need receiver badly to see all this orange go off the board, but like, I do think some of these really fragile teams at RB are not that safe. Pretty shocked that there's that little green coming off the board right now. Like Booty, I've been getting to fall in like the 150s. He goes 127 here to Dirty P, who normally knows what he's doing. Maybe they're just punishing me. Maybe that's just trying to punish a team like mine that's super thin at receiver. I mean, my strategy is risky as fuck too. But I'm a little shocked given how running back goes. I mean, fine. I may heavily regret this, but goes Emmett Johnson. Good pick. I would have taken Emmett Johnson there, honestly. And J.K. Dobbins. So I'm not going to take Tyrone Tracy, but I will take Rashid Shaheed. Give me Shaheed for sure. So saves me from myself. If I had either access to Emmett Johnson, J.K. Dobbins, I might have taken them and just said, okay, I'm stopping at 5. But with Kenny Gainwell and Rashid Shaheed, at least I kept it a little bit balanced. Let me know what you guys think of this team. I can't quite tell. It's really not going to come into the fold until I have like at least like 4 more receivers on this roster. Like right now, it can go in so many different ways, and I can totally butcher this, but I still think I have a very competitive start. Shanzo saying we're both punting receiver. Good luck. Good luck to you as well. You have London, McConkey, Wandale, and Kayshawn. Booty. All right. Even thinner than mine. London Lad. Wandale is the third. I mean, Alec Pierce as my third doesn't feel like that great either, but whew. Good luck to you, man. Stacking up Drake May with another Patriot. Okay, at least you got the Patriot stack. Okay, I recognize the Patriot stack. Why you took Booty there. At least there's that. But Josh says, what is your opinion on drafting 2 premium running backs first who get you 20 fantasy points a game and then draft 3 good receivers in a row to get over 15 fantasy points a game and then QB and PPR? Not bad. I think if anything, this is probably the year to do it if these ADPs hold. But if you told me that you got Achan and Genty or Hampton in the first 2 rounds, and then somehow you still got like AJ Brown, Egbuka, and like Devontae Adams, that'd be pretty sick. But like the ADP in February is not going to be what it looks like in September, late August. Just going to be a much different beast. Green Bean goes Romeo Dobbs, Pat Bryant. So some names. I at least hope Pat Bryant would circle back, but I can live without him. Would have liked to have him, though. Coming up on the clock here. Is this a Tyreek Hill team? I don't think so. I don't think I can tolerate the risk of Tyreek Hill. So I'm just going to take... Maybe I should take Tyreek Hill. Nah, I'm going to go Jalen McMillan with the assumption that Mike Evans is going to leave. Rashid Shaheed is a free agent. I think he's going to leave. Oh, I did take McMillan from Young Moolah. I apologize on the sniping, man. I didn't realize he had Baker, but I just like Jalen McMillan. I think he's a really good pick. I would imagine he was not coming back to me. So didn't even realize, but that's the receiver I wanted the most of this section. So that's just how it goes. Maybe I should take Tyreek Hill. He's fallen a full round, full 12 picks. No one has higher upside. Yeah, I'll take him. I'll take him. I'm a little too behind at that position to pass when it's already a round cheaper. We passed once with McMillan. We're not going to pass twice, but Judy might have been a better selection. Definitely going to be healthier than Tyreek Hill, but not so sure I like that click at all. Sweet. You did already have Godwin stacked up, so it's not the end of the world. And then you can always go Kate Otten as well. But I do think value-wise, Jalen McMillan is a really good option in this part of the draft. Dirty P goes Elijah Surratt as his 5th receiver. I have 6 of them now. So here's my build so far. We have Christian McCaffrey, Devon Achane, Kyron Williams, and Kenny Gainwell at the running back position. Our quarterback room so far has Joe Burrow and Jordan Love. Burrow is stacked up with T. Higgins, and Love is stacked up with Tucker Kraft. I also have Sam Laporta. So if I do draft a third tight end, it's going to be very late. I'm not really investing much in that position going forward. Might even stop at 2 if I think it's necessary. And then our receiver room has T. Higgins, Mekhi Lemon, Alec Pierce, Rashid Shaheed, Jalen McMillan, and Tyreek Hill. I need another 3 receivers at least. And I have 6 rounds left. So I want this team to have 9 receivers minimum. I'll consider a 10th, honestly. But with our other 3 picks, I'll grab at least one more running back. Probably another quarterback. And then either a third tight end or that 6th running back. But I think I'm going to stop at 9 receivers. Most likely. Tyjae falls to 173. I almost took Tyjae there instead of Tyreek Hill. Tyjae is one of the last running back names where I'm like, this is a reliable backup that I think also could actually win the job. Pollard as he gets older. Tyjae as he proves himself more. Just needs to stay healthy, but that's really never been his strong suit. Tyjae always gets hurt. Who's your manager? I think will be taking Rachaad White, but doesn't. Interesting. I'm gonna go Torrey Horton. I want to see what happens here. Young Moolah had only 4 receivers, so I think that's just the position of need. Goes Nick Singleton and Isaac Tesla. So Rachaad White circles back. Let's go. Rashad as our 5th. I like that a lot. In round 16, no less. Also a full round discount on Rachaad White. Reached a little bit on Torrey Horton, but Torrey Horton is a player I'm clicking like crazy. And then I'm optimistic we can still get some names I'm looking forward to. But honestly, I think I can stop at 5 running backs if I want. To have Rashad as the 5th with CMC, Achane, and Kyron Williams as the top 3. That's not bad. Kenny Gainwell as the 5th with what he was able to do. That feels like a nice option. I like his ADP as well. I think where he's going, him and J.K. Dobbins are like 2 of my favorite clicks in that range at the position. Emmett Johnson, a lot of optimism. I have heard great things that have convinced me. Emmett Johnson has some good stats as well. Emmett Johnson looks pretty good. But he can always just have a landing spot that sucks. He could also hit a rookie wall, just not quite have the pass protection skills. He doesn't stay on the field. There's scenarios where rookies just don't pan out. So I've drafted a lot of him. I like to take him, but we do not. Omar Cooper Jr. goes. I would have been comfortable with Omar Cooper Jr. with our next pick. So just doesn't happen. It is what it is. But looks like we got 24 viewers, 15 likes. If we get 20 likes, I'll do one more draft. I'll do a little board, and I will make sure there is no location error. 20 likes for one more draft. We got 24 viewers, 15 likes. Hit that like button if you want one more draft after this. We only have 4 more picks before this one is over. So that will decide if we do a third draft on the stream. A bit of a run on receiver there. We see Jacoby Lane, Ayamanor, Trey Tucker, Omar Cooper Jr., Keon Coleman, Zachariah Branch, Tank Dell, Kyle Williams. If I'd gotten sniped on Rachaad White, I would have taken Omar Cooper Jr., but we got sniped. I'm going to go Ryan Flournoy. Because Young Moolah needs receiver talent. So let me take someone I want. They have 3 quarterbacks. I'm going to get back in at QB here. They go Malik Washington and Pat Fryermuth. I do like the Fryermuth click a lot. Honestly, I'm kind of pissed that's where he went because I'm going Aaron Rodgers and I would have been like ecstatic. Unlikely to see him circle back, but I would have been ecstatic if somehow Fryermuth would have came back around. So maybe I fucked up. Maybe I should not have taken Flournoy there. Perhaps I should have just gone Fryermuth instead of Flournoy and Rodgers and gotten my Steelers combo. I'm still optimistic that Rodgers can go to the Vikings, but odds are he's just going to play for the Steelers again. And if Jonnu Smith leaves with Mike McCarthy, I think there is like some really high upside for Rodgers in terms of spike week potential. And we definitely saw Fryermuth have some upside as well in best ball. High upside sometimes with Fryermuth. There was a 22-pointer for Fryermuth against the Bengals that 1 week when, what was it, Flacco beat them? I'm pretty sure it was that week, not the other one. But yeah, Fryermuth should have a much better season with Arthur Smith leaving. But a reminder, 20 likes for one more draft. Looks like we're up to 19, so one more person that is yet to hit the button. If you would like one more draft, go ahead. It will be a little board. It'll be a $3 little board. And there it is. We got the 20 likes. Sweet. I was hoping to do one more. Josh Carreras, I'm definitely trying to pick up Seahawks defense next year. That's definitely a good one. Got to figure out what pick is Jeremiah Love going next year. Likes up for Leia. Absolutely. She is chilling in the background. She's laying on the couch at the moment. But with one more draft set to take place, I'll pack the bowl one more time. And then if you're in this draft with me and you would like me to review your team, let me know in the chat and I'll get to it before we move on. But I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I also realize I review people's teams without them asking me to, so like maybe you don't care about my opinion, like perhaps it's not even something you want to happen. So I think also to save myself time and energy, I'll try to review at least somebody who I know is in the draft with me, but I don't know if I'm gonna do everyone's every single time. You know what I'm saying? Because we could also just move on to another lobby. So if you would like a review, drop a comment. No worries if not. But if you're interested, I also don't want to move on without giving you that opportunity. So looks like GAB in at the 12 would like a review. No problem. Josh also interested. Or Josh, are you drafting with us? I want to say you are, but sometimes when people's username doesn't line up with who their YouTube name is, I totally forget, even if you told me. Sometimes I just fucking blank on it. Um, I am not the best with names, which is interesting because like that's all a draft is, just knowing the right names. But in football, it's a little different. Um, yeah, I'll take Stowers. Let's take a gamble. Right, that's what I thought. I realized I was like, is Josh in this one with us? I'm not sure. Gotcha. And then here, who are my stacks? Burrow, Love, and Rogers. I think I'm. Is Yoshivis? Yeah, he's going undrafted. Yoshi's worth a click. Yoshi's worth a click. Let's do it. We have Burrow. Why the fuck not? So, told you I would have 9 receivers. That's what we end up with. Um, Here we go. The team has Joe Burrow, Jordan Love, and Aaron Rodgers on it. I believe Rodgers is going to play. I think Rodgers is actually a very good pick where he's going. Running back, we're going with just 5. We have Christian McCaffrey, Devon Achane, Kyron Williams, Kenneth Gainwell, and Rashad White. I like it a lot. As long as McCaffrey stays healthy, I think this is fire. As long as that happens, this is fucking dope. Don't think I need more than 5 when I start with CMC, Achane, and Kyron. Holy shit. Receiver, T. Higgins, Mekhi Lemon, Alec Pierce, Rashid Shaheed, Jalen McMillan, Tyreek Hill, Torrey Horton, Ryan Flournoy, Andre Yoshivis. Yo, if I get the ghost of Tyreek Hill resurrected, I might win the tournament. Like, if you're telling me Tyreek Hill gets back to like top 12, holy shit, watch the fuck out. Definitely worth the swing at the price. 12 picks past ADP as well. Please, Lord, tell me Tyreek Hill is the steal of the draft. Because if that's the case, then this triple RB start should be all I need. Tight end is also elite with Tucker Kraft and Sam Laporta. Laporta going at 107, ADP 92. That is wild to me. I don't understand why he's falling that far, but also get Eli Stowers taking the swing on the rookie. I think totally worth it. Damn. I mean, receivers, a risky bet here. Let's not sugarcoat it. T. Higgins often gets injured. Lemon, a rookie USC receiver, should play well, could have a terrible landing spot, but if you tell me he's drafted by like the Titans and he's Cam Ward's number one target, I think it works. Alec Pierce need a little bit of luck in free agency, but definitely proved his stripes last year. Definitely a high upside swing and like downfield threat. So in best ball, I like him a lot. Think he's a fine pick. Rashid Shaheed, I think, will be going a bit sooner than he does, whatever happens in free agency. If he stays in Seattle, then he's worth the price. If he goes anywhere else, he's going to move up significantly. And last couple years, he's been going at like pick 110 and been worth it. So, like him a lot where we got him. Then went Jalen McMillan, scores touchdowns. That's all I care about. If Evans doesn't stay there, I think that ADP is also going to rise. Tyreek Hill, we got a discount. Let's hope for the best. Torrey Horton, my boy, love him. Got to take him where I can, but I did reach on him by 10 picks, so maybe overcompensated. Flournoy, kind of regret that pick a little bit, but definitely not bad. And then Andre Yoshivas for the stack with Burrow. If T. Higgins goes down, we're going to need him to step up. So I like that. The tight end room is solid. Quarterback room is dope. Running back room feels nice. Damn, I like this team, man. I like this team. I mean, Jamie, 100%. 100%. Legalize it. Am I clicking Mike Gesicki at all? Only if I have Burrow. He's okay. He's not atrocious. He's fine. He goes, what, undrafted sometimes? Yeah, he goes undrafted here. So around 20, if you have Burrow, go ahead. But I'm not like dying to take Gesicki. They brought in Noah Fant last year. Fant might stick around, and Tanner Hudson scores sometimes. Gesicki got hurt last year, but he does have a decent contract. He's an okay click, not egregious, but fine. Josh says I'd rather draft Shakir than Tyreek Hill. No offense. I understand. I mean, I passed on Tyreek as well, but I think just for the upside alone, I need someone that can pay off. And like, I know it looked bad, but like the advances in athletes recovering these days is like it's like Chris Godwin last year snapped his ankle. You know what I mean? Like that thing was like a door hinge as well. And he played. So I get it. I understand. Like he's going super late. You know, we get him around 14, and everyone passed on him at least once. We got him 12 picks past ADP. I understand, but like for the risk and like for the price investment, like what is he going as? Like wide receiver 65 off the board? Wide receiver 63 overall. Like it's worth a gamble. Is it a lock? Of course not. Of course not. But like I'll mix him in here or there. And this team like desperately needs like someone with that caliber league winning potential. So I think on my team it's fine. But I understand why everyone passed. And then legalize it. Yeah. I think you can draft him without Burrow as well. I don't think it's terrible, but I think at this point in time, like if I'm gonna draft a tight end that late, give me Stowers. Um I like Fryermuth as well. Tonjes is okay. Schultz has been falling. Schultz is a fine floor play, but doesn't score many touchdowns, and that's what you really need at that position. So it is what it is. But yeah, I don't think Gesicki's atrocious. I don't hate it, but Josh says Michael Wilson wide receiver. I'd get. He's okay. I think the quarterback situation needs to be clarified in Arizona for me to feel totally confident drafting Michael Wilson where he's going. I like him. I'm hopeful for him, but I need to know what their quarterback is. If it's Kyler again, then fuck that. I'm good. If it's Kyler, I think I'm gonna pass at that price on Michael Wilson. But Gab, you also requested a review, so we will review it. You're saying, yeah, and he might end up with the Chiefs. Risk it, biscuit for the win. Is this in regard with Tyreek? Yes. Yes. I think that's a very likely outcome as well, that Tyreek goes back to Kansas City. Anyways, your team, you went Jefferson Hampton. You're the reason I got Achane, so I'm going to be honest. I think you should have taken Achane. I think Achane is a better pick than both Jefferson and Hampton. So in that regard, that's something I would have changed. I would have taken Jefferson and Achane or Achane and Hampton. But I don't think I would have passed on Achane twice. But I'm grateful for it. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate the discount. You go Loveland Burden, as long as you take Caleb, I get it, but I've shat on him earlier. Maybe you weren't in here when I was talking about it, but I don't understand the price on Burden. I really don't. I get it, but I think there's just a lot of projecting that he's going to be that much better. And like if you actually look at the game log, which we pulled up, like where is your argument? In week 3, he had 3 catches, 101 yards, and 1 touchdown, but like only 3 catches. Like a house call is basically a fluke. In the first month of the year, he had -3 yards, 5 yards, 101, and -4. That's the first month. We'll give him a pass. But after that, we got 4 for 51, no touchdown. 1 for 22, no touchdown. 1 for -1, no touchdown. 3 for 51, no touchdown. 3 for 27, 3 for 46, 4 for 33, 4 for 67. It's getting better, but still no touchdown. 6 for 84, that's fine. 8 for 138 and a touchdown, that's elite. That's awesome. But there's only one game like that. And then week 18, 3 for 35. And then in the playoffs, we have a 3 for 42 game, 3 for 24. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I do not get it. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a fucking dumbass. I'm so sorry. This is his game log. Apologies. But like the price on Burden feels completely tied to his week 17 performance, and it just feels destined not to pay off. That's my take on Burden. I think you pay a little too much of a price on Burden. And yes, this offense takes a massive leap in year 2 of Ben Johnson, but it's so fucking crowded, man. Like DJ Moore has to be traded. He has to be traded for Luther Burden to pay off. And I just don't think he does. I don't think he is. I don't think they have to move off of him. I don't believe it. So I'm just not drafting Burden there. That's my take on it. I'm willing to be wrong, but until DJ Moore is traded, I just don't think it's a fair price. I don't. Javonte, Caleb. At least you have Caleb, so it totally justifies the stack, but like still an expensive stack. Whatever. You didn't get Rome, but I think the way I like to attack it is Loveland, Rome, and Caleb. And then if you get DJ Moore late, that's also fine. But I just don't like the price on Burden. Quentin Johnston, I like a lot. I was hoping you'd let him circle back, honestly. I was hoping you'd let QJ fall back to me. But I drafted QJ a lot. Jadarian Price is pretty good. He's nice. Baker, I like at this turn. I think that's a really good pick. Stack him up with Chris Godwin. Not bad at all. Emmett Johnson, J.K. Dobbins, I fucking love. Kyler scares the shit out of me. I don't like Kyler at all. But if he gets traded to the right scenario, I think it can work out. If you tell me he's a Viking, that's really interesting. If you tell me he's a Falcon, I think that's also very interesting. That's where I would love to see Kyler get traded. If you tell me he's a Steeler, I'm not as excited. I think the weather is a big problem for Kyler. So I think Kyler has to be traded to a dome team. And then there's the world where he just stays in Arizona, and that fucking sucks. So Kyler, I don't like at all. Not going to lie. Trey Benson scares me. You took Nick Singleton over Rashad White. I like Rashad White. I think Singleton broke his foot. Unless I'm thinking of someone else, but I believe it's Nick Singleton who has a broken foot at the Pro Bowl. And then Tesla, Love, Malik Washington, I think is fine, not great. I want to know who the quarterback is. Freiermuth, I love. Rashad Bateman, I think is a great pick in the final round. And then Tez Johnson with the stack with Baker makes sense. But otherwise, I would never click him. But he's just like Andre Yoshivas, stacked up. That's totally fine. As long as, now that I remember Kyler's your third, I think Kyler's fine. Kyler here as your third, whatever. But personally, I don't like Kyler. Personally, I'm not a Kyler fan at all. The stat lines with Kyler like max out at 17 points. Kyler has like no upside anymore. So, with the exception of the Luther Burden pick, the Justin Jefferson pick, and the Nick Singleton pick, I actually really like the team. Receiver's a little bit weird, but for how you approached it, I think it's fine. It's kind of thin, but as long as Jefferson and Burden work out, then I think you're okay. But I just don't like the Luther Burden pick. Anyways, that's a very interesting team you have. But it led to my Achan pick. So for that, a tip of the cap. I will always be grateful for Achan there to pair with CMC. Green Bean would also like a review. Green Bean was in at the 102. Goes Puka, Chase Brown, Kenneth Walker. Love the Egbuka selection. DeAndre Swift there. I like Baishal Tootin. I think is overpriced. Tootin as your RB4 in the 6th round scares the shit out of me. I think I would have rather double tapped quarterback than go Baishal Tootin, or even taken like Parker Washington and Trevor Lawrence. You know what I'm saying? But I do like Jackson Dart in the 7th. I think his rushing value is totally solid. You did pass on Jalen Hurts, though. That's interesting. That's a bold call. I kind of like it. I think Hurts might actually fall off a cliff this year. Hurts scares the shit out of me right now, especially once A.J. Brown gets traded. Jalen Hurts, I think, could fall off a cliff. So I think passing on Hurts is actually pretty sharp. But I might have gone Parker Washington, Trevor Lawrence, just to like get back in at receiver. The Baishal Tootin pick is kind of the only thing I'm not in love with. Pittman though, he might be a free agent or something. There's something going on with Pittman. Is he? I don't think so. I saw something on Pittman. No, he's a free agent next year, but I think they might save 24 million by cutting him. Yeah, he might actually be a free agent. So that's a variable where I've been passing on Pittman a little bit just because I'm not totally sure. And then even if he stays in Indy, like the quarterback situation is weird, but could absolutely crush. There was a stretch there where Pittman was like balling out. Oh no, I need regular season stats, not college stats. Michael Pittman, his game log, I looked at it earlier today, unless I'm mistaken with someone else. There's a stretch there with like some elite performances, like 9, 7, 58 and a touchdown, 9, 8, 95 and a touchdown, 12, 9, 115. There was a stretch there where Pittman was really coming alive. Week 1 was also pretty dope. But once what's his face? Daniel Jones went down, just say goodbye to any touchdowns. But like if you just only look at the first 8 weeks of the season, like Pittman was elite. Pittman was averaging 7 targets per game, 5.4 receptions, 56 yards per game, and had 6 touchdowns, almost one every single game. An 80% touchdown rate is pretty dope. Let me do some quick math on that. That's 11.8 plus 2.7. That's 14 and a half points per game in the first half of the year from Michael Pittman. And you can even include week 9 in that sample size. He was averaging 14 points per game for the first half of the season. That is pretty dope. 6 touchdowns in his first 9 games. Pittman is probably a really good pick. I think I regret not drafting more Pittman in hindsight. Yeah, I like that pick a lot now that we go a little deeper on that. But then you go Stafford to pair up with Puka, followed by Jake Ferguson. A little high on Ferguson. Like, everyone passed on Laporta, and now you're taking Ferguson, like, only a round behind Laporta. Like, I might have gone Laporta there. Nah. No, I think you played it right. I just don't love the Tootin pick. But then you go Casey Concepcion. Might be a little overrated. Landing spot could make this pick look terrible or good. I I'm not totally sure how I feel about Casey Concepcion. I think if I'm not getting a discount on Case Concepcion, I am usually passing. But I'm a bit rookie averse at this point in time. Romeo Dobbs, I like a lot. Pat Bryant, I also love. Theo Johnson, a great pick, especially with Dart. That's fire. Chimeri DK, I love Chimeri DK. Chimeri DK led the league in like almost like all-purpose yards. Like a lot of them were punt and kick return yards, but Chimeri DK is quite an athlete, and he's not going anywhere. I think he's going to be a big part of the offense. And with Dable coming over, I think DK is going to operate as like the Wandale Robinson in this offense. I think DK might have like 100+ targets next year if he is indeed the Wandale Robinson in Dable's offense. So I've been drafting a shit ton of Chimeri DK, honestly. I think he's going like 2-3 rounds too cheap. I think DK could go where like Shaheed and Booty is going. Maybe not Booty, but where like Shaheed and like Romeo Dobbs are going, and it's not egregious. DK has value. I like DK a lot, but then the draft might change my opinion. If they draft someone like Makai Lemon or Carnell Tate in the first round, then DK not going to explode the way I'm envisioning, but should move up the board, uh, in my opinion. DK I think is a good pick. Likely looks like you got him at a discount as well, so not bad. Omar Cooper Jr. great selection. I would have taken him if I didn't take uh Rashad White at a discount there. And then you go Adam Randall, Malik Washington, or Mike Washington, and Ty Simpson. So some big shots on rookies with the last 4 picks. Ty Simpson, I'm hearing some great things about. I can't say I've scouted him enough to have a concrete take, but it does look like Ty Simpson could be a starter next season, and that's interesting. But I like the team a lot, with the exception of the Beischel Tootin click. I think that's the only one where I'm like, yikes. But if you tell me Etienne leaves and Tootin does explode, then that would be pretty dope. It feels a little pricey though for me. That's the only pick I had a issue with. That and maybe the Concepcion. If you told me you took Kenny Gainwell or like JCM or even Emmett Johnson instead of Concepcion, I think I would like this team more. Um, that might be my only pivot. The Beischel Tootin and Casey Concepcion. Yeah. Like if instead of Beischel Tootin, you go like Pearsall or even Parker Washington, that's fine, I guess. But I like Pierce, I like Quentin Johnston, even Michael Wilson, like a receiver instead of Tootin, and then Emmett Johnson, Kenny Gainwell instead of Concepcion. I think this team is perfect. But really good job. Really nice team. Shanzo Gonzo says Pittman could be what the Bills wanted Keon to be. Pittman to the Bills would be interesting, but I think they're probably going to draft someone. I think they might draft someone early. Gotcha. Josh wants DJ Moore on Buffalo, Romeo Dobbs on Buffalo. I mean, everyone wants everyone on Buffalo. Like Buffalo is definitely the best spot you could find. Um, Kyler might get back in the Arizona saddle. Hampton about to go nuclear. I do love Hampton, but I could also see them bring in another running back. I would have probably taken Hampton instead of HN. I have a lot of Hampton already. So I do love Hampton. I love the Hampton pick. HN loses Mike McDaniel. Hampton gains Mike McDaniel. I have Hampton and HN pretty even. Hampton with more positive surrounding a situation. Better coaching, O-line, and quarterback. Higher touchdown equity. I mean, you don't have to sell me on Hampton, bro. I'm repping Chargers. They're my team. I'm in love with Hampton. In fact, let me prove it. What's my exposure on Hampton? I got to find out. Exposure through 25 drafts O'Marion Hampton is my fourth highest drafted player at running back at a rate of 24%. DeAndre Swift, I have at 44%. Dobbins at 28%. Adam Randall, also 24%. So Hampton is tied for third with a player going in round 20, Adam Randall, in terms of my exposure. I'd take a shit ton of Hampton. So I love that pick. That pick I liked a lot. But for the sake of my unique roster, I really appreciated you giving me a champ. We gonna do little board? Yes, we are. Am I in LA? I'm heading to LA tomorrow. I am in LA. I'm in East LA. LA's a very wide city. We may be in very different locations, even if we are both in LA. But yes, I am in LA. Okay. I'm not gonna fake y'all out with a location error again. I'm gonna get it set up on my phone and I will count it down for y'all. I'm not gonna fake you out, I promise. So here we are in the little board. I have it on my phone. Let me prove it. Join in 5 seconds. Join in about 5 seconds. I'm joining right now. 7 more spots. Should be a very friendly lobby to join. Waiting on 5. And this will definitely be our final draft. Whoops. Sorry. All right. The last little board I did, some wild shit happened. That's when I first tried out that CeeDee Lamb George Pickens combo, and I did like it, but I will admit, the first time I did it, it was in one of these $3 little boards. Not a $10 big board. But definitely worth a try. But still 4 more spots, so slowly filling. The problem with the little board is many of you have already maxed them out. Many of you have already maxed out the little board. With only 20 entries maximum at $3 a pop. I tried to make sure I paced myself on the little board. Because here's the thing. This is the tournament that is not going to even have a chance to not fill. The little board is clearly going to fill. So, on tournaments like this, I like to pace my entries out with like how the percentage of the tournament fills. And what's going to end up happening when you do that is you're going to get a lot of variance in terms of which types of lobbies you enter. Because like the lobbies that you enter in the beginning when all of the addicts, all of the degens like us are drafting like crazy, those are going to be tougher lobbies than when you're drafting in like, you know, when this tournament's like 75, 80% full. And a lot of the more casual players are joining. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to get a lot of people that are looking at the ADP for the first time towards the end of this tournament. And I think it's worth saving some entries for that time of the year. Shanzos has drafted one earlier that's certain to be tossed. Guy had 13 players with ADP outside the top 200. That's annoying. I hate it when it gets tossed. It's like, why? Why would you do something like that? Waste your own time, waste your money, and then like risk getting banned or whatever? Like, I don't get it. GAB is staying very near Marathon Clothing, Slauson, Crenshaw area. I'm in LA pretty often. In-laws there and son at USC. Dope. My girlfriend lives out in like mid city, so not like exactly where you're talking about, but not too far from there. Um, but I live in like the Pasadena Eagle Rock area. Like I'm not far from the Rose Bowl. But yes, we are next to each other again, once again. Young Moolah in here at 10. I get the 11 slot, second draft in a row, so I doubt we get a unique combo like we just did. It should be a different team. But who knows? Maybe young Moolah is gonna snipe me on Omarion Hampton. Maybe I shouldn't have shown him my exposure chart there. But Hampton is definitely my favorite click in round 2. I take Hampton like crazy. Um, but that's awesome, GAB. I'm living at the back end. We did have the one at pick 6. Our first draft was at pick 6, but yeah, we're getting some experience in the back. Interesting to see Gibbs go at the 101. I'm sure Golden Boy is happy to see Bijan at the 102. I'm not someone who's going to be passing on Bijan at the 101. I need my shares of Bijan where I can get them. Right, definitely in the Crenshaw area. There's still a lot of Nipsey murals, like the murals that have yet to be touched by the graffiti artists that have lasted a very long time are obviously the Kobe murals for the most part. There's a couple I've seen that have gotten tagged over time, but in general, no. And then the Nipsey Hussle murals always stay intact. That's dope, man. That area is underrated. That area is not bad. I've driven around there a little bit, and I don't know a ton of people in that area, but it's never a bad time. It's pretty chill. Especially when I was like driving Uber, I would go into that part of town more often, and like people I would pick up are pretty chill. Um, we did just take Achan. Do I take him again here? Yeah. I still prefer Achan over Genty. But Genty is fine. He goes at the turn alongside Malik Neighbors. I'm going to be totally honest with you. There was part of me that considered going Genty and Bowers. But I'm not going to do that. When I'm here near the bookend, whether it's pick like 10, 11, or 12, I pretty much always double tap running back. I do not want to get behind at running back around this turn. And although there are some good receivers I'm kind of passing on with like confidence, and that might be a little too bold, I usually get a receiving core I'm fine with. Whereas in the third round, I almost never get a running back that I'm really comfortable with. Like Kyron's okay, but ETN scares me a little bit if he leaves the Jaguars and doesn't wind up in like Dallas. I'd be a little concerned about ETN potentially. But there are also like a lot of open spots at running back in free agency this year where everything could be fine even if he doesn't return to the Jags. But we got into it a little bit with GAB about the upside of Omarion Hampton, and I'm definitely someone that drafts Hampton with confidence. So we'll go H.N. Hampton there. Nice little safe running back approach. Gotcha. Yeah, all of them early on feel very good picks. Once you get to Chase Brown, it starts to get a little bit dicey, but still feels pretty safe. Outside the top 5 is the back end, in my opinion. That's fair. I think once you get past JSN, you can literally click anyone all the way through like Drake London. Like Christian McCaffrey on this draft board all the way through Drake London feels like they could be justified at the 106. Not saying I would ever draft Drake London at the 106, but like I don't think it's egregious to argue for it. But the ADP is what it is, so like why mess with it, you know? Anyways, hammering Jettas at this price, bounce back season incoming. If it's still McCarthy there, I don't know, man. I don't know about that. If you told me it's Rodgers, I'm interested. If you told me it's Kyler, even Tua, I might be a little more interested, but to tell me it's still JJ McCarthy at quarterback there, I'm a little scared. It was just so bad. Got to be a little worried. But I don't want to be 0% Jefferson. I should probably take him a little bit more often than I do. Cousins would be interesting. That would be interesting. Not sure it's going to happen, but definitely interesting. Okay, this is interesting. This is also unique. Walker goes. So Bucky, I think, is the click, but Bucky's the last running back I really think deserves a 3rd round pick. But that team took JMO above Jacobs, Walker, and Bucky. That's bold. I'm not in love with it, but I don't want to get behind either. I'm going to take Ladd. I don't take a ton of Ladd. You have to. We already took Hampton, so this sets up a pretty clear, like, Justin Herbert combination. So that'll be the plan. And hopefully somebody doesn't target, like, a Quentin Johnston Herbert stack and gets in front of me. But so far, that should line up well. That should work out. Sean Zagunsa said, I even take Mariota in Minnesota. I'd hope he lands somewhere. Even Jets, I've been clicking him as a 3rd here and there. Jacoby Brissett would be interesting. Oh, that team goes 4 running backs. We got a full-blown green log at the 109 with James Cook, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, and Etienne. I understand clicking Jacobs because he fell so far, but I passed on Etienne for a reason. It felt a little overkill to go 4 straight running backs. But if you're going to do it, to have Etienne as the 4th feels somewhat justified. But we'll keep an eye on team 9, see how they recover, or at least land the plane. I wouldn't say they have to recover from anything. I don't think they made a mistake, just a tough strategy to fully navigate. Because in these coming middle rounds, like once you hit round 6 through 10, it is so tempting to draft a quarterback and tight end like every single time. I find myself really compelled to pass on receiver and running back in some of the middle rounds. There are so many good players at QB and tight end. And then still like a lot of really good values, especially at receiver. So I find it hard to stay balanced in the middle. That's why I'm a bit afraid of Team Nine's strategy, but they could still figure it out. The Cobra, also interesting strategy. Puka, Bowers, and then Brees Hall, RJ Harvey, Javante. Not bad. That team with Bijan at 2 goes Nico, Allen, Egbuka, and Rome. Their team's looking not bad at all. Burden goes at 53 here in this draft. What does Tom Raucher do? I imagine it's receiver. Waddle. Good price on Waddle. Yeah, I think you got to take Lamar there. And I appreciate it because it saved me from myself a little bit. I'm going to go Christian Watson for sure. Need to catch up at receiver. Opens the door for Love later on, who does go on this side of the board for that reason. But good price on Lamar. Pick 58. That's valuable. Zay Flowers at 56 is also pretty crazy. A lot of hate on the Ravens in this draft. Oh shit, I'm on the clock. Of course I am. I'll go Makai Lemon. Lemon has a chance to be drafted top 10. Could go to. I think the Titans is a pretty compelling landing spot. The Titans would be pretty fire. Because Cam Ward can sling it, and he's missing a clear number 1. Typically, USC receivers also do very well. But last year, 12 games, 79 catches, 1156 and 11 touchdowns, 9 rush attempts, another 4 yards and 2 touchdowns. So 13 touchdowns in 12 games for Makai Lemon. Was an All-American. And did it as a junior. Are there any measurables? Oh, here he is right there. 5'11", 195, age 21.7. All right. Legalize it says, shit, if we get a full season with Christian Watson, he could be the guy you need. That's what I'm hoping for, but, like, that's not a safe bet. If it wasn't for injuries, I think he'd be going around Devontae Smith, Zay Flowers. Like, he's not going much further than them, but Flowers really fell. Flowers usually goes in the 4th round. I think you could justify Watson in the 4th round, but, like, receiver is just devalued so much. It's just a weird price evaluation at receiver this year. It feels like an overcorrection compared to how it had been going. And so, like, until it evens out, I'm just going to lean into it, or I'm going to go super heavy running back early and then get really good values on receiver. But to have Bucky Irving and Travis Etienne at the 3-4 turn compared to Baishal Tutin in the 7th round and Kyle Manungai in the 6th, like, yikes. It falls off, and it falls off fast. Damn, we miss out on Herbert. That's a bummer. It is what it is, but that's a little disappointing. That team reached on Herbert with no stack, just to hate. All right, I'll take the discount on Jackson Dart in that case. Oh wow, Ramondre fell like crazy though. Holy shit. I think I have to do this just to be unique. I might get double sniped here, but I'm fine with either quarterback that's still on the board. And I at least get one of them. Holy shit, we get Jackson Dart as well. This is a wild discount. So Dart, we get 8 picks past ADP. Ramondre goes 15 picks past ADP, 16 picks. Damn, over a full round discount on Ramondre, and then everybody else is at ADP. Pretty profitable turn there for your boy. Ramondre this late? I think Ramondre I could have taken with my Makai Lemon pick. All right. Very interesting. Surprised the team. I'm surprised Young Moolah did not take Ramondre. I'm going to be honest with you. GAB. You sure you? I know you have Lamb there, but like that was a considerable discount. And I know Pollard's fine, but sometimes you just got to play the board. Just got to get the value that's given to you. Shanzo hated to pass on Ramondre, but felt like he needed Evans. Evans there is a really good pick. Evans, I think, if I didn't take Lemon, I almost took Evans, not going to lie. I like Evans' price a lot. Not high on Patriots at all. That's fair. Their schedule's going to get much, much more difficult. And Pollard, I think, is also valuable where he goes. That's fair. After I go Dart, we see Pollard, Laporta. Laporta goes here at 88, so a normal price on Laporta this time. But Jadarian Price at 89, then Stephon Diggs. Alec Pierce at 91, a little bit of a fall on Alec Pierce. Mahomes falls all the way to 92. DJ Moore 93. Pittman 94. Worthy 95. And then at the turn, we see Team 1 go Kyle Pitts, Jordan Addison. Gotcha. That would make sense. Go ahead and check out GAB's channel, everyone. Shout out to any creator. This is not the easiest market to break into sometimes. So appreciate you watching the channel, being a subscriber, drafting with me. That's dope. And yeah, shout out GAB. Gab Sports. Check it out. But Bo Nix goes Boston, Gadsden. This lobby does not value quarterback very much. Really interesting. Kincaid off the board. I'm just going to take Wandale. Wandale for the Jackson Dart stack. He is a free agent, if I'm not mistaken. Wandale is, but there's so many quarterbacks. I'm just going to take whoever's still available for me. I can stack up Jordan Love if I want, but I think I'd rather have Purdy or Stafford. Goes Baker. I'm gonna take Stafford here. Another discount, and I think a much safer floor than Jackson Dart. We got a quarterback that runs around a lot. Meanwhile, the toughest quarterback possibly in like NFL history, Stafford, one of them. Stafford is definitely old and like could go down, but Brock Purdy has missed a lot more games than Matthew Stafford historically. So could have gone with the stack with Jordan Love. We took that on the last team, so I'll be different. We don't have a stack for Matt Stafford yet, but there's still some back options left available. Kind of makes me wish I took Adams in hindsight. That would have been cool, but definitely didn't plan for a Matthew Stafford selection. So it is what it is. It's fine. Yeah, no problem, man. Appreciate you popping in this late. I don't have like a fixed schedule yet for when I go live, but trying to go live at least like 3 times a week at this stage of the year. And one is definitely going to be like late night. Another one I'm going to try to do at a more reasonable time. And then the other one hopefully is also more reasonable. But one of them every week is probably going to be super fucking late. Something got in my eye. Sorry. Apologies. I'm going to take a quick hit from the pipe if you would like to join me, but no worries if not. Okay, so the team has a heavy commitment at running back with Achan Hampton, Bucky Irving, and then shockingly, we just went with the discounted price on Ramondre Stevenson. Hopefully that's worth our investment. But then receiver, we got 4 with Lad McConkey, Christian Watson, Mekhi Lemon, and Wandale Robinson. And then quarterback Jackson Dart and Matthew Stafford. Don't have a tight end yet, but there's some decent options still left available. Goddard and Jake Ferguson come off the board. I imagine Young Mulah's taking a running back here with only 2 so far, but goes Emmett Johnson. Honestly, I was in the market for Emmett Johnson. Don't hate it at all. I just think he's the best pick on the board. I think I'm going to go Kenny Gainwell here. And then I'm going to call it a day. I'm done at running back with these 5. I'm just going to stop with those 5. Strange off the board. Would have been interested in Strange, but not desperate for him. And then here, I think... I'm going to go Kayshawn Booty. I think Shaheed's a fine pick. I think Higgins is okay, but I think he can fall further. I'm not going to take Jaden Higgins just for value. Not a big enough discount where I felt like I needed to go in that direction. I still like a lot of receivers late. So Jaden Higgins not my preferred selection there. All right, so running back is strong as fuck. We go Achan Hampton, Bucky Irving, Ramondre Stevenson, and Kenny Gainwell at running back. Our receivers, Lad McConkey, Christian Watson, Mekhi Lemon, Wandale Robinson, and Kayshawn Booty. And then at quarterback, I have Jackson Dart, Matthew Stafford. No stacks yet other than Wandale Robinson. We did not get the Justin Herbert stack that I was chasing with Hampton and Ladd. It is what it is. It's okay. It's not that bad. But sooner or later, I'm going to have to swing into tight end. This is probably a 3 tight end build at the minimum. Might even be 4. But in general, I'm drafting 3 tight ends. But gotta say, I admire how you stay locked in on the draft and stream after so many puffs. I have a very high tolerance these days. I'm actually about to take a tolerance break because it's like, it's a bit shocking how quickly it goes away sometimes. But yeah, thanks. Sometimes it really gets to me. Other times I feel like I don't feel it at all. But especially whenever I time out, I would attribute that to like just being too high. Speaking of which, let's just go again. What I do like is the timing of that drop is exactly 8 seconds. And the amount of time it takes me to grab the pipe, the lighter, and take the puff and do the full inhale is like really the perfect amount. So I'm not drafting running back, that's for sure. Andrews gets taken, but I don't care. Yeah, I'll take Romeo Dobbs. Very interesting landing spots this year at receiver, and he is pretty underrated. He's been in a very crowded situation. I like his talent, and then there's also a chance he just stays in Green Bay. But in general, the Packers draft that position very well, and he's shined at times. He's a touchdown maker. I like his value drop here, and I need that position. I'll go Romeo Dobbs, and then we're gonna go Pat Bryant. I'm surprised the Baker team didn't take Jalen McMillan. The team has Baker. They go Elik Ayamanor. McMillan tempting also, but we just took him. I'm gonna go Pat Bryant. Gonna ignore Brandon Ayuk. See, if you've been watching me since like our first few drafts, I've been cooling it on Ayuk. I did get it out of my system. I've taken Tyreek Hill more than Ayuk. At least on the live stream. But we pass on Ayuk twice there for Romeo Dobbs and Pat Bryant. Healthy players know that they're going to be active, and odds are Dobbs is more desirable in free agency than Ayuk is. But I could have gone Travis Kelce. I think Kelsey's actually a really good pick if you're going to punt tight end. But we're punting it heavy, and I kind of don't give a shit. Grr to the Baker team. Because they took a Yamanor? Or because they took Charbonnet? Were you trying to get a Yamanor? I'm a little confused. All right, so we got Bryant at a little discount, I think, right? Bryant. Oh no, right in line with ADP. We got Dobbs at a minor discount. That's what happened. Yeah, Dobbs fell 15 picks. But Jonathan Brooks, Ridley, Troy Franklin, Daniel Jones, Tyjae Spears, Kelsey, Surratt, Brissett, Penix, A.D. Mitchell, Tesla, Aaron Jones. Jones might actually have a pretty legit price if he's going to consistently go at 170. The Aaron Jones team just got him 8 picks past ADP. 162 is okay, but especially if you can get him in round 15, that feels much more appropriate. Because with Aaron Jones, there's still a major injury risk. He did look better than Jordan Mason, but that's not a very high bar to clear, if you ask me. McMillan finally goes at pick 173. He'd fallen a decent amount. But Ayuk goes at 174. He fell a decent. How much did Ayuk fall? Damn, almost 30 picks. I do like Chimera DK quite a bit here. And the team after me already has 2 tight ends. So I think I'm going to push around this little turn. TJ Hawkinson gets taken. This feels like a 9 tight end build. 9 wide receiver build is what I mean. And yeah. I don't want Kimani Vidal. I'm just gonna take who I think is actually like a very legit, authentic pick here. I'm gonna go Chimera DK. Because I have way too much Torrey Horton already. I've been trying to cool it. We don't have Herbert anymore. So Trey Harris, another name I like here. Not a good pick for me with Ladd already. I'm going to go Chimera DK. Omar Cooper Jr. gets taken. And then I will stack up Theo Johnson with Jackson Dart. We have our stack finally. Another stack with Jackson Dart. We have Wanda Robinson, who I believe stays in New York, and Theo Johnson. A lot of targets last year with the Giants. And yeah, Matt Nagy's not ideal, but I think it's fine. Matt Nagy did take Mitchell Trubisky to the playoffs, another running quarterback, when he was the head coach of the Bears. That is an accomplishment. That is something to say about Matt Nagy. And if not for the double doink, wouldn't he have beaten Nick Foles' Eagles? Isn't that what happened? I'm sure he never really had like full reign of the offense in Kansas City, but every Chiefs fan seems to be very happy that they're going back to Bieniemy. So that's definitely an indictment on Matt Nagy. I'm not going to sing the praises of Matt Nagy, but I don't think it's the most egregious, terrible outcome you can find. There are not that many like elite offensive coordinators on the market, and Cliff Kingsbury went to the Rams, so it is what it is. Sean Gonzalez says, "Go to the Baker team because I wanted Baker. What the fuck is he doing with him?" You have Evans. Yeah, if you could have gotten Baker to circle back, that would have been justified. But Baker is not going to make it back to you, man, at 124. That's not going to happen. Or 117 most of the time. Baker, I think, goes like 111 now, and he took him at 109. Quarterback was getting thin. I think he should have gone Purdy. I think Purdy's a better option than Baker, but Baker had a stint as a top 5 quarterback for a while. Like Baker was in the MVP conversation for a long time, and then everyone on the Bucks got hurt. I think Baker's a very legit pick there if you need quarterback. I get the frustration, Dirty P, but Burrow made it back. Jaden made it back for fuck's sake. Yeah, you can't always get what you want. Watch me get sniped here on Colby Parkinson. No, I doubt it. That team has three tight ends already. Um, I have Dart. I have Stafford. Do we take McCarthy? We're getting a huge fall on Tank Dell like a rock, but I already have 8 receivers. No, I need tight end. Give me the stack with Colby Parkinson. The hype is definitely on Terrence Ferguson, but I don't think Colby Parkinson's going away. There's even a world where what's his face? Tyler Higbee is still relevant, but I'm gonna pass on Tank Dell again. Let's go Gunnar Helm. Let's figure out the tight end position with 3 straight picks investing in that department. We have Theo Johnson, Colby Parkinson, Gunnar Helm. I also took Chimera DK. So 2 Titans, a Ram stack, a Giant stack, and then a bunch of receivers lately. Because I think I'm done at running back. So a reminder how this team went. We went with Achane, Omarion Hampton, Bucky Irving, Lad McConkey, Christian Watson, Makai Lemon, Ramondre Stevenson, Jackson Dart, Wanda Robinson, Matt Stafford, Kenny Gainwell, Kayshon Boutte, Romeo Dobbs, Pat Bryant, Chimera DK, and then finally hitting tight end with Theo Johnson, Colby Parkinson, and Gunnar Helm. Not bad. And I think if Colby Parkinson is going to continue to fall, then I think I'm going to be drafting a lot more of him compared to Terrence Ferguson. I like Ferguson. I like both Rams tight ends. And Colby Parkinson was really coming alive for a while there. Like it was all kind of dependent on the Higbee injury, but at this point, I think he's established himself pretty well in the offense. And like the touchdown production is really notable. Like in the playoffs, he had a touchdown, 2 for 34 against the Panthers, 7 targets against Chicago with 3 for 56, and against Seattle, 4 targets, 3 for 62. So really involved when it mattered most. And then down the stretch had like a shit ton of touchdowns. The final 9 games for Parkinson, he had 8 touchdowns in the final 9 games. That's crazy. That's so valuable if something close to that can repeat. And Terrence Ferguson just doesn't quite put up those stats. So I know there's the draft capital with Ferguson. I was crazy high on Ferguson last year. I drafted him a lot in the 18th round when he was going undrafted. But I just want to acknowledge like reality. Colby Parkinson really earned the job. And at the moment, I think he should be drafted ahead of Ferguson. I think similar to like a Luther Burden price. I mean, that one's so much more egregious. But here, I think it's just like the projection of like, well, the round 2 rookie should take a leap. But I do think the veteran might also not give up his job. And we're probably going to share a lot of that volume. But just like I wanted Aaron Rodgers in the final round. And the team after me does have 3 QBs, so maybe I do save him for the final round. But at least I know I'm taking Rodgers, so I will queue him up. Yeah, I'm not going to fuck around. Give myself more time to think about this last pick. We got 3 tight ends, so we can ignore that. 3 QBs, ignore that. 5 running backs, I could go back to that, but our receiver position I think needs a ninth. I think Bateman's fine, but I like Jeremy Bernard more. I'm gonna go Jeremy Bernard. Give me a rookie. I don't have many rookies. We got Makai Lemon, Jeremy Bernard, and then no other rookies. So, yeah, let's take a shot. I like Jeremy Bernard. So that's the team. Not bad. Punting tight end definitely works. Our previous team had an elite tight end combo with Kraft and Laporta, but I think this team is also fine, especially with the stacking correlation of Theo Johnson, Colby Parkinson, and then Gunnar Helm, a player that I think is going to break out legitimately. Um, First thing to understand about Gunnar Helm, his role is definitely going to expand because Chigokonkwo is a free agent. So Gunnar Helm out of Texas, going to be turning 24 week 1 of the NFL season, September 6th. He will be 24 years old. He played all 16 games. No, he missed 1 game, had 55 targets, 44 catches, 357 yards, and 2 touchdowns as a rookie alongside Chig Okonkwo. And while not every game is amazing, there is a decent like stretch of targets, especially like this 3-week stretch here is really, really considerable. 5 targets, 4 for 29, 7, 6 for 51, 7, 6 for 23. No touchdowns, but like I said, Okonkwo was there, and it was the Titans after all. So his average stat line was 6.3 targets, 5.3 receptions, 34 yards per game. And then, like we said, no touchdown. But that is already like 6 points as a floor. So imagine if he also scores like 2 touchdowns and offers you like, an above 50% touchdown rate. Like you would have a 9+ point average out of Gunnar Helm. But there is a lot of projecting involved. GAB loves Gunnar Helm this year. I definitely see a leap forward being taken because if we pull up Okonkwo, whoa. uh, Okonkwo's a free agent. I don't think he's coming back. I don't think so. And Okonkwo had 79 total targets, 56 catches, 560 yards, and another 2 touchdowns on top of what Gunnar Helm was offering. So if even just like half of this goes to Gunnar Helm, we potentially have like 100 target player on our hands in the 18th round, which is going to be the final round of a typical best ball draft. Gunnar Helm is definitely a player I want a very good value at ADP. Why I'm comfortable punting tight end for so long. Because like we waited forever. I was the last team to draft tight end. And I have a good room. I have a pretty solid room. So probably the better strategy. But then I also feel like there are some of those higher end tight ends that I also think are worth their price as well. Like if you told me I got Fannin, Theo Johnson, and Gunnar Helm, that would be elite. You know what I mean? That's really, really elite. Bowers, I've been a little hard pressed to click along with Trey McBride. I've clicked McBride once on the live stream, and I think I'm not going to do it again for a while. Late round tight end feels like the spot, and I really think you need to be investing somewhat heavily in quarterback by the 10th, 11th round. If you don't have 2 quarterbacks, I think you're screwed. So because of that, instead of going with heavy tight end early, if I can invest properly at quarterback, I never really regret it. So this was an interesting lobby. I think I don't regret at all going running back to start. We kind of forced a bit of urgency at the position, especially with Team 9 going with 4 straight. And then they also took Rico Dowdle kind of early. So this was an odd room, not going to lie, at running back. And I think I got ahead of it in the right way. My receiving core isn't terrible. It's not great, but we have a lot of volume. We got Ladd, Christian Watson, Makai Lemon, Wandale Robinson, Kayshawn Booty, Romeo Dobbs, Pat Bryant, Chimeri DK, and Jeremy Bernard. Because I have so many, I think it works. But running back is pretty strong. Achan, Hampton, Bucky, Ramondre, and Gainwell. Tight end Theo Johnson, Colby Parkinson, Gunnar Helm, and then quarterback Jackson Dart at a solid discount, Stafford at a solid discount, and then Rodgers who goes free. I think it works. If you think of doing the Bengals onslaught, do it better than me. Feels kind of icky. Let's take a look at Dirty P and his Bengals onslaught. He has Burrow and Tyler Shuck, so needs Burrow to hit, but Shuck is okay. Has Chase Brown, DeAndre Swift. Took Swift a little early, but I think it's fine. Algier, Kamara, Braylon Allen, Brian Robinson. I'm not a big fan of Kamara this year. I think Kamara is a little bit overrated, but is correlated with Shuck, so that's fine. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Terry, Mike Evans, DJ Moore, Jaden Reed, Surratt, Valet. And they have 4 tight ends with Juwan, Stowers, Fryermuth, and Gesicki. I don't think you need Stowers on this team if you're going to go Gesicki. You can either drop Stowers or Gesicki. I'd rather be dropping Gesicki. And in exchange, I think I'd probably go with the quarterback. Like, if you snipe me on Rodgers with this build, I think it would be totally legit. I also think Ty Simpson, Kirk Cousins are a little bit valuable, but Aaron Rodgers I think will play, so he's the safest one who goes basically undrafted half the time. But I don't hate it, not gonna lie. I don't hate it, man. Tight end is obviously a little weird, but you have 4 of them, so who cares? Mine is also pretty risky, but I don't love the Kamara pick, but your receiver room is pretty strong. You just need Burrow to be a top 3 quarterback, top 5 quarterback, and then hit in the right weeks, and especially week 17. You know, I think it can work, but having Shuck as your only backup, I think that's where, like, yeah, I don't think I take that comment back. Like, give me Rodgers instead of Eli Stowers, or Rodgers instead of Gesicki, and I think this team is like perfect. I think it's pretty good, bro. Especially for a Bengals onslaught with Jamar, Chase, and T. I mean, the only thing you could have done differently is taken like Andre Yoshivas instead of Devon Vele. But you do have Shuck, so I think you did pretty well. Yeah, but here's the thing, like 3/4 of the teams in this lobby are going to be dead. But yes, you made it super fragile with Burrow and only Shuck. You probably should have taken a quarterback. Like, you didn't get great value, but yeah, like I said, Rodgers is like my backstop when I need a third. I just make sure I get Rodgers. So, I think it's pretty good. Young Moolah went CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Kenneth Walker, good price on Walker. Adams, Lamar. The Lamar price was pretty dope. This lobby was very strange with quarterback. Lamar went fucking late, and it still feels like there were better prices elsewhere. Then goes Marvin Harrison, Dak Prescott to stack with Lamb. Tony Pollard, Dalton Kincaid, Jalen Coker. That's pretty nice. Emmett Johnson, J.K. Dobbins. So running back still works. Andrews, Jonathan Brooks, and Sean Tucker taking a swing, but pretty risky. Likely Flournoy with the stack. Trey Tucker, Malik Washington, and Devontae Walker. Only 2 quarterbacks on here, but with Lamar and Dak, I think it's okay. And then running back is thin, but 2 of the best picks on the board with Emmett Johnson and J.K. Dobbins. I sure hope we get a good landing spot on Emmett Johnson because he feels like such a good value. Such a saving. Like Emmett Johnson, Kenneth Gainwell, and Dobbins even Tyrone Tracy, and then to a certain extent, JCM and like I don't think Woody Marks, but like just because it's in this range, I guess I have to throw in Woody Marks. It's round 11, but Woody Marks I think is my least favorite of the group. Compared to Baishal Tutin and Kyle Manungai, feels so much more valuable. Not that Baishal Tutin and Manungai can't have value either, but like that is clearly the dead zone, and you're getting handcuffs 6 or 7 rounds earlier compared to J.K. Dobbins. And Dobbins might be a top 15 running back. Like, that's where running back is really fucking weird to me in this. Like, I've drafted enough to have, like, a pretty strong familiarity of, like, where most players go. And that's something that just makes no fucking sense to me. I'm never going to be drafting Manungai when I can get Dobbins in the 12th, along with Gainwell, Emmett Johnson, and even Tyrone Tracy. That is a take I think will age well. Pass on running back once you are after DeAndre Swift. Don't take a running back unless it's like Pollard and you're really desperate, or Ramondre at a super good value like I did. And even that, I don't know if it was my best pick in this draft, but ignore them until you get to round 11 and then try to double tap some combination of Tyrone Tracy, Emmett Johnson, Kenneth Gainwell, and J.K. Dobbins. For me, it's usually Gainwell and Dobbins. Emmett Johnson, I often get sniped on, but I have taken him quite a bit. And then Tyrone Tracy, I'm coming around on because I'm a little worried that Scattaboo just is going to be perennially hurt over and over again. Scattaboo feels like just a wrecking ball. And no man can sustain that over a long period of time. So Tyrone Tracy, I think, is also a fine click. But then it gets weird again. Once we hit Connor, it's also really fucking weird. Charbonnet is interesting, but hurt. So along the same lines as Brooks. But you can't tell me Charbonnet and Brooks going back to back that you trust Brooks more than Charbs. Even Tajay, I think I trust more than Jonathan Brooks. Brooks could be an absolute zero. That draft class was just so bad at that position that year. Brooks, who the fuck knows? But I think Rachaad White will move up the board. I think Brian Robinson Jr. will move up the board. And then as we get closer to the season, but I think it might take a while, I think Tank Bigsby is also a very legit player that will be rising. And like, he's Saquon's handcuff under contract, and I could see him outscore Chuba Hubbard. So Tank Bigsby, I think I'm going to come around on drafting a lot of Tank Bigsby. Once we have a landing spot for Ray Davis, like a clear understanding of him, because there's weird vibes with Ray Davis. Is he under contract? Am I forgetting something? Yeah, he is. Okay, never mind. Ray Davis is fine, but is just so injury dependent. Him and Tank Bigsby are in the same camp. And then there's a bunch of rookies. I like Keaton Mitchell as well. I think Keaton Mitchell's also rather compelling. Keaton Mitchell is a free agent, but he's a restricted free agent. So that's basically a lock that he returns to the Ravens. Running back is very strange, but typically whenever we go heavy RB early, it doesn't feel like it's a bad team. It always feels like the team can work. And then I also have the luxury of, if I get a great value like I did on Ramondre, then we can draft Kenny Gainwell and just stop with 5. Like, this is a RB room with 5 that I think is totally legit. Achane, Hampton, Bucky, Ramondre, and Gainwell, that can totally fill my roster enough. And even if like two of them get hurt, I'm still probably okay. Anyways, I think I've talked about my team enough. But Shanzo Gonzo said I had to take in had I taken quarterback, I would have been Mariota. I'm believing he's going to get a chance to play somewhere, maybe the Jets or Miami. He at least runs the ball, but I think he's really in a perfect situation backing up Jaden Daniels. I wouldn't be shocked if he just stays in Washington. GAB Dobbins has been a bargain 3 years in a row now. Yeah. He's going to miss some time, but when he's on the field, he's going to be a top 20 running back for sure. And odds are he stays in Denver. I think it's very likely he stays with Sean Payton. I like Mondre. I view him as a Swift tier. That's why I was willing to take him there. I'm not going to go that far. I don't think Ramondre's in the same tier as Swift, but I think he's arguably the next best pick at running back after Swift. I can definitely see him be much better than Jalen Warren, Monungai, and Tootin. And so to get him almost like a round and a half after ADP, I thought was worth it. But in general, I'm not taking him too much. I like Travion more, but last year he was better than Travion, and I don't think he's going away. He's paid too much, and he's under contract for a long time. Like, in case you're not so sure, we have Ramondre Stevenson under contract until 2029. And it's not that cheap. It's $9 million per year. He's 28 years old. It's kind of crazy that he got the bag. But like, I don't think they can cut him until next season. Like this year, if they cut him, I think there's like dead money of about 600,000. But in 2027, if they cut him, they save 6.4, and I think they would also save 10 million the year after. So I think they're going to cut him in 2027 when he's 29 years old, but I think this year he's going to be still on the team. Losing some speed, if he keeps fumbling, who knows, but like I think he's still pretty relevant on the team, but could also suck. I could see him like he doesn't seem like a player that when he like gets injured one day and like starts to deteriorate that he's going to like have a slow decline. I could see him have a sharp decline. But I think for the price, I like where I got him. We got Dart pretty good as well. But GAB says I went with quantity depth over high quality on these two drafts. 7 RBs and 8 receivers in the late running backs have some question marks, but plenty of upside. Mondre played really well though. Def earned his reps 100%. Like in the playoffs, they didn't trust Travion at all. You know, like Travion barely saw the ball these last 4 games. When it mattered most, they did not take any chances with Travion's pass protection. So Ramondre is still going to stay viable. But I do think it's fair that Travion goes above him. Anyways, we did have Dirty P in here. We already checked out his team. But Young Moolah, we also checked out his team. Did I miss anyone? I don't think so. Tell me you think Mondre is fat without telling me you think he's fat. He's not like known for his speed. You know what I mean? Like he's just move the chains. There was a time when he was like an elite pass catcher. And that's where most of his value lied. But like he has only been in the league for 5 years and he's 28 years old. It feels like he should be younger than this. So it's kind of crazy to me that he's under contract for like his 29th. His age 31 season is when the contract expires. There's no way he stays that long. If they can save 10 mil and 6.4. Honestly, that might be worth cutting him now and eating the 600,000. I mean, a little bit. I wouldn't go that far, but I mean, good for Ramondre getting his contract. A $36 million value, 17 mil guaranteed. He's already played out 2 of those seasons. So who knows? Maybe he is cut next year. I don't think it's gonna happen this season, but I think it might happen next year. Good luck, bro. Enjoy Los Angeles. Welcome. Enjoy your time in the Crenshaw area. But I think I'm going to say peace out as well. I think we'll do one last hit from the pipe, and that'll be it. Someone is here, though. Let's just have... Oh, if you made it this far, you're getting a quick Leia sighting. Hello. All right. Yeah, killed that one for sure. All right. Peace out, everyone. Hope you had a good time, and hopefully our drafts went well. Have some good returns. We went with a very interesting CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Dak Prescott stack to start. And then we had an interesting CMC Devon Achane with Kyron team. And then that also included a Burrow T. Higgins stack. That team was interesting. And then this one was a Trip RB, Achane, Hampton, Bucky, with some interesting discounts throughout the draft. So yeah, peace out, everyone. Later.